was a Quidditch chapter.
It was a whole chapter?
I thought about you. I was like, oh, we're back. I wonder if she liked it or not.
You didn't like the Quidditch chapter? There was like meat in the Quidditch chapter.
Yes,
though. It wasn't
exactly.
just.
It wasn't the whole chapter.
Yeah, it's progressing the plot. This is a Quidditch chapter that seriously progresses the plot.
And it was more about the characters' emotions
It
than scores
seriously
of the
progresses the plot. No,
I mean,
it
if
didn't.
Danny still likes Umbridge after that chapter, then we have some serious issues.
So true.
we need to have a
that's
talk
part
about
of
this?
why. That's part of why I think everyone was so upset with me for hating Umbridge, because they've already read these chapters where you hate
exactly.
her.
Yeah.
But they forget what it's like when you don't know. We don't know how bad she gets. Like when we're reading. I mean, maybe Jen hated her immediately because you sensed it.
Most people would
Child
hate
torture.
But I was like, hey,
Normally,
you know,
that's
I mean,
really frowned upon.
No,
child torture.
You are right. Your hatred of her just keeps increasing and increasing and increasing.
Yes.
But you don't know that when you finish, she's like the worst character of all time. And it's hard to get the perspective that she's not terrible to start. She is pretty terrible to start.
Yeah.
I'm not siding with Danny.
I
don't
keep
worry.
thinking of his
to fight
question.
you now.
Could there be anyone else that would be worse than Fudge that you think you would start to hate? That was your first question, like the first set of chapters.
I was like setting seeds for that kind of stuff.
I feel like you said it. Didn't he get it?
I think so.
Toad lady. I
Yeah.
think you did.
Oh, did I say it?
I think so.
See, I can understand we could
Totally.
get to the point where we hate her, but I just wasn't there yet. And now I am.
Well, it takes a
I definitely
lot
hated
for
her more
you
than
to
Fudge.
hate someone,
Well, you know what? I give people the benefit of the doubt. I give them second and third chances.
even through child
But I
torture.
feel like I feel like
People go with the
Fudge
first
is the same.
hem sent me.
Oh my gosh,
Which is so
can't-
true.
that's like
Hated
Jim
Umbridge
Dale.
since-
Every time I see
is like perfect.
Yeah.
The way he says it.
Every time I see those words now, it's making me cringe. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, why is she here?
Yeah,
But this
in
is
Hagrid's class.
Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, Hagrid's class is where you're really set off. I mean, you're set off for everything that she does, every
Yeah.
like step that she takes now. But there's a moment in these books that's why people hate this book so much, because she's in it. That's really the only.
Wow. Yeah.
They hate it because she's in it, and they hate it because Harry's moody in this book. But it's not like actual moody, like Alistair Moody, like Mad Eye Moody. That would be a whole different plot twist right there. But people hate it because you just get so much of Umbridge, and you just keep waiting in this book. You're like, when does she get hers?
I know.
Please, when is she gonna get eliminated from this book? And I don't know if it's gonna happen, guys.
Now it's funny because I know that my siblings, when they were watching the Harry Potter movies, I saw exactly the outfit that she's wearing, and now I could picture her, how annoying she is. I didn't watch it. It was just like I walked in, saw a character talking, and then like walked out. That was it. And now I'm like, that has to be her because the outfit and the annoying thing.
Wait, what kind of stuff does she wear? She wears like crazy stuff. She's
That's
like,
Pink, frilly.
Yeah.
It's
Is
the
it like
opposite of her
green?
personality.
that's why I'm having a hard
Tweed
time picturing that.
outfit.
Yeah,
and
it's like
green.
tweed. She has like it's plastered in pink, her office, and like all the kitten. It's like
Kitten stuff. That's
It's
what's
like,
Yeah.
weird.
it's like to
saucers.
make up for
Yeah.
her.
Because the illustrated
Teacups.
picture you showed us a few episodes ago, like it feels out of place somehow.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, weird.
So that picture that I showed you, some people actually, when I threw that on Reddit, some people they loved it because it's like this is the evil woman. Some people hated it because in the movies she's depicted as just a
pretty.
very pretty, not like pretty, but she's like a normal looking woman, just likes pink, like has her hair tied in a bow. But she plays her so well because like the hems that she does makes you want to throw a brick at whatever screen you're watching it on. Hem.
Oh,
If you guys want to ask,
Can I look her up? I want to see what she
and
looks
I
like.
will.
Dangerous to do that,
I
Jen.
don't care.
If you see what she's only in
Danny's
one
been
Harry
avoiding
Potter.
Google for like 6 months right now.
I just think even IMDb it'll be like, oh, she's in one movie, and then you're
No,
like, oh,
I'm not.
Cedric Diggory, he's in one movie.
Yeah.
Boom, you know, all it takes is one of those little things, and you're like, huh, what's
Yeah.
the story there?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, no, I remember seeing like this again.
So I was hiking today,
Okay.
and I had a weird feeling, a desire I've never had before. Often when I hike, I'll be searching for a walking stick. Yeah, I worded it that way on purpose. And sure, you look around for a cool walking stick to be your little helper along the way. But never in my life have I thought, I'm going to look for a wand. As I'm walking around, I'm literally looking on the ground for a wand stick.
I just had to look at your face
I'm
because I knew
like,
it was going to
what
be full
the?
of glee.
I'm like, what is happening to me?
So happy.
I'm like,
You just made his day.
gracious. So you take a gander at this dude. And
you brought it with you, right?
no, I did find one that I think could be fashioned into a decent wand. It's in my car.
I knew it.
But I couldn't find one that was truly right. And I'm not saying that I'm out here trying to find my own wand, but I'm just saying,
Yes, you are.
could there
found
be
you.
a
there it
Muggle
is.
Ollivander? Because I can just
Yes.
fashion the wand and let it find its proper wizard in the future. You know what I mean?
But if you saw it while you were walking, it could have just happened upon your
And you know what I
pathway
think
and
is
it
fitting
picked
about this?
You.
I was looking for a lot of wands. I picked up a lot of sticks. I was feeling them for their flexibility, et cetera, et
What
cetera.
kind of wood is it?
It's hard to tell. I'll have to really examine it and see. But then it got me thinking. And then as I'm like thinking, not even paying attention, I kicked something.
See, that's what
And
I'm
it was
saying.
the best one. It
And
literally
picked you.
fell right in front of my face. So in a weird way, it might have found me.
Did
That's
the wand
exactly-
choose you?
Yeah.
Are you really a
What
wizard?
it-
Yep.
What's
And I think that was kind of
He's
fitting.
been holding out on us.
I know.
And your
But-
and the internal organs of this wand are heartstring.
Well,
or
that's
like
what got me wondering.
unicorn,
How do they do
like
that?
hair?
Because can the wizards do this with like magic where they get it to go in the wand without ever having to break the wand? Because that's what I'm thinking as I'm going to fashion this wand, obviously. How do I get something inside of this wood without
I'm
like
pretty
drilling
sure
into it or like
they
whatever?
wrap, don't they? I feel like they wrap.
So you
these
cut the wood in half
heartstrings.
and then you sandwich
I'm
the
not a
heartstring.
carpenter. Okay, I have no idea.
And then I think there's something to be said for starting with a thicker dowel and using a lathe, getting it down to size. There's something also to be said for a wand that's already the right size.
So
when
you're
it's
the
found.
Muggle.
Ollivander.
Yes.
Muggle Ollivanders.
Are you jealous?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But see,
I'm the online Vanders. Danny's the Muggle Ollivanders.
because it's just like I'm just thinking in the
He is a
wizarding
shop,
world.
guys.
Do you
Watch
have to
out.
be a wizard to make wizardy things, or could you have a good sense for things if you were a squib or like?
Do you think you're Squib?
I don't think so. I think I'm just a muggle, unless my brother's been holding out on me for a long time. Yeah. Or my
Your
whole family, I
brother?
guess, would have to be
Just
holding
your
out.
brother?
He seems most likely to be a wizard, but then I thought
hair, yeah.
it would be too weird. It would actually have to be my whole family for me to be the squib, right? I'd have to
don't
be
know,
the odd one
John.
out. Like in my mind,
No,
a squib
I mean-
is the
Oh,
one
we're-
person in
are
the
we
family
stumping
who
you?
isn't a wizard.
All three of your family, all three of your siblings, or all three of the kids could be squibs. If the parents are
If
magical,
the parents are magical,
yeah,
both
it's
parents.
rare.
Are your parents
Yeah,
magical?
I'm pretty
Well,
sure
that's
it's
okay.
rare
So
that
really,
would-
be my
They're
parents would be
holding
the ones
out.
holding out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't
they
think
do
they
that
would do
to
that to
you?
me. Yeah, I don't think so. Unless they just didn't want that life for me, you know?
Look at you guys go. This is like my proud dad moment right now. You guys are just going on about wands. Jen's asking,
No.
okay, what's the core gonna be though?
And, well, that is a valid
dragon
question.
string, phoenix feather.
Because as we start making our wands to sell, online at online vendors, how are we gonna? What goes in this wand?
What
What are Muggle components that would go in a wand?
Yeah, like it.
butterfly
What do we use as the core?
wings and
I don't want to be killing the
I was
butterflies.
gonna say
Yeah.
more butterflies.
but only
okay, what about
butterflies
they
that
use
die
the
of natural
dragons
causes.
and
Dog
phoenix
fur.
feather? I don't know. Yeah, they don't
Dog
die
fur.
for the. Why?
West fur.
Yes.
His face.
I like this.
I'm trying to think of something.
Giddy.
That'd be pretty cool. Having Wes's fur in my wand.
Maybe we can't find unicorn,
Dumbledore's
but we could use
toenails.
like horse.
Oh.
Ew.
That's gross.
What'd you say?
Dumbledore's
Toenails.
toenails.
Remember he
Oh,
said that he collects
To be
them?
fair, that
Oh, yeah.
might be like good-ish.
Yeah, that might be incredibly powerful.
But it'd be so hard to find because he obviously destroys
I
all
went
of them.
with it.
Ew, I feel like it would smell bad.
No, he takes really good care of his feet.
I don't care.
Danny, people are
So
also
gross.
commenting on your socks saying you have great socks again
Wow,
tonight.
thanks guys. Nice. That's gonna be a thing. You have to
mine?
wear different socks.
Jen, everyone,
Whoa, Bombas.
comment
nice.
on Jen's socks.
Everyone.
If you like them or not.
Yeah, come on. I'm gonna have to really step up my sock game being next to you.
Okay, someone said peacock feathers. That'd be great.
Oh, that is a
That'd be
really good
good,
one.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
What are other, like,
They're
unique
in the
creatures?
wild, easily to get, right? Sorry.
I like that.
I mean,
Like
yeah.
unicorns are easy to
I
get
was
in the
gonna say
wizarding world,
that's
Jen,
part
or
of the
dragon
charm. They're hard to
heartstring.
get.
Oh my goodness.
When was the last time you came across a dragon heartstring?
Yesterday, obviously.
Well, I have unicorns at home, so there.
Okay, Jen, people are saying slay Jen always. Your socks.
Thanks, guys.
We haven't heard anything about snakes, but I'm just trying to think of Muggle things we could get. Like,
I wouldn't want a snake.
when a snake sheds the skin, you could use snake skin.
That's for no.
I feel like that's like a cover for a wand.
Wand cover. Nice.
Actually, it would fit really nice.
We should invent little like holsters for them.
All right.
That's what it is.
will.
It's called a holster, not a holder.
That's all right. I got you guys.
Oh boy.
I have another question for you guys before we start.
Did you ask a question at all?
No. This is the
the
best
question.
intros ever for the podcast, or when you guys just go, or like when one of the two of you go, you know what I was thinking the other day? Where I was on a hike and I really wanted to find a wand, not a walking stick. Or
Yeah, but now you have to take a picture so we all know. What
I
it
know,
looks
we'll
like.
throw it on
Wait
the
till
subreddit,
it's done, but
He's got some
What
work
is
to
he
do.
It's only gonna be my-
inserting in a jelly? It's a jelly
it's only my
donut.
first wand, you know. I'm gonna have to perfect this art, of course. Ollivander didn't make his first wand like a pro. Actually, maybe he did, and he was born to do this. His family was teaching him,
He makes them. Yeah,
and
he
his
makes
family's
them.
been doing it since whatever it was,
thousands. Of
300
381
AD.
BC or something like
Oh,
that.
BC. Oh,
BC, yeah.
it's nuts.
It's a long time.
It said before the Babylonian Empire, I think they were.
That is.
Or no,
nuts.
maybe not the Babylonian. Before I think the pyramid. No, before something was created.
Hmm.
Stonehenge maybe or something. I don't know.
Before something
Yeah,
was
before
created.
Something was created.
Okay.
Ollivander was making wands.
Well, that would
Before the
explain a
Roman
lot
Empire.
of things, like the pyramids and Stonehenge.
Colosseum. I think before the Colosseum was
Whoa.
built.
Yeah, that makes sense.
that's what
Oh,
it was.
Stonehenge would be
That's my
explainable
other
then.
guess.
That's the one, guys.
That's true.
Yeah, Stonehenge was built with Wingardium Leviosa.
I am so proud of this moment right now because initially you both were so skeptical. Jen was like, I don't know if I
True.
want to really get into this series. I want to, but these books are going to be a little boring. I don't want to know if I want to read them. And Danny's like, I don't know if these are going to be great. Now look at you guys.
You're welcome.
Full conversations about
I mean,
wands. Kristen,
I'm
Yeah.
just following his conversation.
Thank you.
But
All right, use your excuses.
all right, I'm going to put you guys on the spot with this question.
Oh, boy.
Very nice.
And I don't know if, because you've only read it once, I don't know if you're going to know what I'm talking about here. But there is a line, or not a line, there is a word that Harry Potter fans always remember. It's like the one word that when you get to the end of these books, if you say this word and you're a Harry Potter fan, it will melt your heart. It's like everything coalesces into this one
I have a
word.
guess, but
I want you to guess one word. I know that's almost impossible to do, but
no,
what is
I'm not-
We've
one?
heard this word already.
Yeah, it's not like a.
and only in this book or in all the books?
It's probably been in all the books.
I'm not gonna guess.
It's not like a hidden thing throughout the book.
Right. But it's a theme, or it's
when
like
something
just
happens
repeated.
later on, one character says this one word, and
Oh, interesting.
like everything doesn't fall into place in that moment, but you like get it at that moment.
Ooh, that's intriguing. I think my initial instinct
so don't say
was.
it.
no, I'm not going to.
Don't say it. I want to think.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
But then it's going to be silent, so I don't know.
No, that's totally fine. Let the silence be there.
Yeah.
You got to do it. Otherwise, I'm just going to
First.
start speaking. I can't help it. But if you're ready, go for it.
No,
Whenever
I'm not
you're
ready. I want to think.
No, that's what I mean.
without
I'll wait.
you.
I'll sip my tea.
There you go. Do something. So you're
Exactly.
occupied.
Occupy my mouth.
That's not helping me think.
No, don't mind me.
Oh boy,
I'm sure that's going to
that is
sound
loud
really
sipping.
great.
Danny, that does not like kind of.
Well, I just don't want there to be silence on the podcast.
So you're thinking editing silence is better than editing
well,
that?
this way John knows to edit. He can hear the.
I can hear the,
can also
there's gonna be
hear
a
the
weird
silence.
peak in the audio.
All right, just go because I can't think.
Coffee today. I was gonna say, the spells stand out. So I'm trying to think of a spell word and a non-spell word. Non-spell, I got nothing yet. But I've even growing up, I would hear kids saying spells to each other.
Yeah, me too.
Expelliarmus and Stupefy were the big spells you would hear.
No, really?
You would never hear those?
I always heard the one you said before.
What did I say? Oh, Wingardium Leviosa. Yeah, true.
Which is what?
and Expecto Patronum.
To
Those are
move
the big
something?
ones where I feel like when I read them, I remembered it. Like I couldn't have said them off the top of my head, except maybe one of them I might have, but I don't even remember. But now that I've read them, I'm like, oh, it's all like I've heard that before.
It's
That's
one
what kids
word?
were saying.
No, one phrase.
One word.
But if
Not
it
a
wasn't a
phrase.
spell, what would it be?
Oh. Oh, boys.
That's 2 words, Jen.
No, I know oh, boys is where. That's why I said oh first. Thank you, Sean.
Maybe Umbridge becomes good, and when all hope is lost, at the end of the movie, Harry is about to die, and right when you think he's all alone, you just hear "hem," and you know that Umbridge is there to save the day.
That's 2 words. Come on.
You're right. I thought it might be hyphenated.
This is such a random question. Mm-hmm. We could do it. We got Crouch Jr.
What?
Yeah.
Polyjuice?
Yeah.
There's
They're
no
like-
way you're going to get this word.
How
it's
do
like
you
that.
don't say that because you know
Find a way.
I don't like it.
Well, I'm trying to think if it's like a mystery that's being solved, and that's like something like Polyjuice would make perfect sense.
It
If it's like,
has to be
oh, it
between
all
the three
clicks
of them,
now.
right? It's just a phrase that
Like a
or
phrase
word
that they could say
Harry,
to each other.
Ron, and Hermione always say. And she always is getting them into shape. So I'm like to collect them all, to gather them together.
To gather them?
Yeah, like when they're I don't know. Remember when Ron and Harry were having their issues and.
Yeah, that's a good word. That kind of sums up the series together.
Okay, that could be for any book, though. Is that it says together forever? Together. I'm thinking of what is that?
Shakira.
Right?
Yeah. Why did I go to High School Musical
my.
first?
No, I was gonna sing it in her like together.
Can you do the dance moves with it?
You gotta shake when you sing Shakira.
True.
Oh boy.
I guess we got nothing. Just Shakira. That's all we got right now.
We gave something.
Well, yeah, but they're all spells, and I'm not convinced it's a spell. But
Well, I said together.
yeah.
You got to both come up with a word. So is yours together,
nice.
Jen? Or are you going to come up with something different?
You didn't give us any time to prepare.
I know. I was thinking about texting you guys this question, but I was like, I got to just say it.
Put him on
Off
the
cuff,
spot.
put it on- Because I
Yeah,
can edit
but
all this
this
stuff
one's
out.
hard because this one you could actually like think about for a little bit.
So this will
And
be a
then be
question we
silent.
revisit until we get there in the books.
So you're not going to tell us.
One word.
It's
One word is hard.
Together forever.
That song is stuck in my head now.
My goodness.
You pick together and you pick forever.
There you go.
Wow. Nice teamwork. I feel like I'm leaning in the direction of a mystery being solved and like one word like Polyjuice. But I don't think it's that, but I'm thinking it could be along those lines.
You
or
love polyjuice.
Or like
A
Hermione's
unifying word.
pipes. The word is pipes that she wrote on the back of the thing.
Yep.
How the snake gets from place to
like
place.
a word like
Wait, what
that.
if it's snake? Serpent.
Or a house name, or maybe a location.
Marauder.
Grimald.
Map.
This is fun.
Bank. Gringotts. Fudge.
Dumbledore.
Umbridge.
No.
Harry
It's a fun new
Potter.
game.
so entertaining.
Could it be like what person would it be?
It would be a person's name. Dumbledore.
Yeah, like-
Dumbledore. Dumbledore.
Sure, or Harry, or
So here's one little snippet.
That's not a name.
When no. Well, yeah, okay. When they were filming the movies,
Is this a hint?
J.K. Rowling told the person playing this character the meaning of
The word.
that word.
So they said it. They had to say it.
very interesting.
Serious.
And have we heard this character say this word per her instructions yet, or is that something that happens? Actually, you don't even need to tell us.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it.
Maybe multiple people have said this word.
I feel like it's coming from Hermione because she's smart. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's great.
JK wouldn't trust her with a secret. She was a child.
What?
Oh boy.
Maybe she would, actually.
Commence the argument. Go.
Yeah, you're picking the one female character.
What? There are tons of female
I know.
characters.
Maybe we'll figure out this word. Well, I'll keep asking this question as the podcast pops up. But
Maybe she's the one who said the word.
Maybe what is she? Part. What is
Vila.
that?
Vila?
Yeah.
That's the word?
Yeah.
It's the word. Welcome to the
Because
podcast.
Voldemort
I'm
is a
John.
Vila.
Jen.
Danny?
And Kristen.
And this is Harry Potter and the First Time Readers. Did you say because Voldemort is a Vila?
Well, yeah, that's why he's so hot.
Voila.
That's why he-
Oh, so you agree now?
so many
That's why
people
Jen's so
flock
attracted to him.
And then they're like, oh, he is, you're right.
Let's do a first commercial, guys. Let's do a real quick recording.
right. We haven't done any of that.
Are your feet cold?
Yes.
Do you want
That's all I got,
More
guys.
That's a great start. That's it. It was the punchline was right at the end where it needed to be. You know, we got socks coming. And are
we
your
have
feet
socks
cold?
coming. We're at merch for you. Mm-hmm. Are your hands cold? We're not making gloves, but we have sweatshirts. We have shirts, maybe hats.
I like it.
Because your hands are always cold.
Yeah, we'll be Hermione's hands. I hate. Why does it get silent and then I forget what I was saying?
Oh, like her spell, her like warming thing that she did on the snow.
No, she's making all of the house elves
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
stuff.
yes.
socks, hats,
Yep.
scarves.
And
Except
does that
we're
mean-
just doing the socks.
Okay, nice.
Do you want to free an elf?
Nice.
Your feet
And Kristen
cold?
could make
What a
them.
good ad read.
Yeah, that
Do you
was
want a
legit.
free elf?
Oh my
For
goodness.
every scarf that we send you, we send one to a house
Oh
elf.
my gosh.
It's
That's,
the
I
Tom
love how you just
shoe.
volunteered me to make all of
Well, that's
these.
what I asked him. Like,
he
is that
makes
what's
them
happening?
too.
But if we do scarves, I can
My
help.
pants
But
right
that's
now.
the extent of what I can help.
Oh my gosh.
I thought we were
Adult
printing
diapers as well.
West on socks.
Knitted
Well,
adult
yeah, you're right.
diapers.
We could do that too.
For every pair of socks we sell, we'll send one to a house elf in need.
We're the
In the
Bombas
Hogwarts
version
kitchen.
of For
Just
Wizards.
us.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Everyone go follow us on subreddit r/first-time-readers. Email us first-time-readers@gmail.com. We literally have a mug that Jen is drinking out that says free the house elves.
We'll just be
We
here
should
to
sell
sell
them
them
to
to
Sims.
My subconscious.
Yes.
Oh man.
Let's get into chapter 19, The Lion and the Serpent. Give me a summary of this chapter, The Lion and the Serpent.
Quidditch. Ugh.
It's just
That's the summary. Quidditch.
perfect,
Ugh.
Jen.
Gryffindor v Slytherin. First match of the season. Slytherin's being real mean to Ron in this chapter. Not cool. And Ron didn't save any goals, but Harry did get the snitch. So it was kind of okay. But the problem is this is where Malfoy was being the worst. And that's where Harry jumped him and got not expelled, but a lifetime ban from Quidditch,
lifetime.
along with Fred and George. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
And it makes you really dislike Umbridge. Of course, we already didn't like her, but one more step down that dark
I
road.
love how Danny's throwing himself in the group now. We never liked
we
Umbridge
never
from the
liked
beginning.
her. I was always on
You
that
don't
side.
get to be a part of that group, Danny.
But he really didn't like Umbridge. He was just playing devil's advocate a little bit. He's trying to make the podcast interesting. Yes, I
Even
fully
by the end
believe
of that
You
chunk
were
of
there the night
chapters.
that we
Oh,
got
yeah.
into an argument when it came up.
You don't know the level that Danny will play devil's advocate for to make
Indeed.
something interesting.
Indeed.
We're learning, I guess.
He came up with a lot of reasons why he
Yeah, good old
Did
Auntie
not like
Dolores. Because someone said it must be related to her in the chat.
I forgot that was her first name, so I was like, "Who's Auntie Dolores?"
Who's that?
Guys, I'm not gonna remember anything after we're done with these books. The spells, these names.
I'm kind of proud of Colin Creevey and Neville, because they both were crushing some of that Dumbledore army training.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, they're actually becoming like strong. This is like the best kind of training outside of school. It's like perfect tutoring. They should have been doing this even if they had a good professor, because it feels like they're learning way more in this environment than they ever did like in the classroom.
Yeah. This
Which I think is
feels
awesome.
like a better way to do some kind of wizarding school where like you do have mandatory tutoring after that. Everyone, it's like gym class.
Yes,
Give them a
yes.
gym class where they're literally practicing these spells all day.
Yep.
Because if you teach a student this thing, you're like, go practice this at home. Come on.
Yeah.
They could be practicing it wrong, and then their
Exactly.
techniques are
Yes.
off, and then that's how they
Yes.
know it.
And they
Trust me,
sneak out
that's
an
like,
Avada Kedavra accidentally and they kill someone.
oh gosh, that went morbid
My.
real quick.
Safety first, you know?
Some of these spells are
Yeah.
Like the most
Yeah, but
extreme.
they said,
Yeah,
didn't
okay.
they say like
Sure,
you would
bad
only
point.
get a nosebleed if you tried?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But if
Nice,
you really
Jen.
meant it, Jen,
This guy's
with the
killing people,
recall,
apparently.
I love that. I love your memory for Harry Potter now. You know what Velas are.
I literally
you-
just said I'll not remember a thing. Promise. But maybe I'm
will.
wrong.
Yeah, Harry really is a good teacher in this moment too. But these are the chapters where we get some more Neville information as well, which are really interesting and fun. Because he's getting better at what he's doing. So these are some good Neville chapters as well. But here's the first question. Hermione is talking in the DA, and she goes, well, the Sorting Hat did seriously consider putting me in Ravenclaw during my sorting, said Hermione brightly, but it decided on Gryffindor in the end. So does that mean we're using the Galleon? And they're talking about the little thing, because it was
yeah.
clever. Should
That was
Hermione have
really
been
good.
in Ravenclaw?
To be honest, yeah, kind of think so.
Does it matter?
Yeah,
Sorry.
kind of think so.
I meant like, does it really matter if you were placed in the wrong house? That's what I mean by my question.
Yeah.
Like, what is the significance of being in Gryffindor versus Ravenclaw?
Well,
Like,
like
why
we
does
talked
that
about
matter?
previously, are you influenced by which house you're put in?
Yeah, right.
You know, like after the fact.
So, like, would Hermione? So Hermione stands out more in Gryffindor because she's wise, witty. But in Ravenclaw, she would just blend in.
She's still the smartest at the school.
Yeah.
She would stand out regardless. I think.
Well, I just find that interesting that that's even like a comment, though. Like,
Yeah.
you're so smart. You should be in our house.
Yeah. I'm curious what her most Gryffindor quality is
Bravery.
so far. Is it bravery?
I think
She's
so.
pretty brave.
I feel
Yeah.
like she's going to find out the solutions to remember all the spells when she was
Yeah.
the serpent thing. What was it?
But that's library stuff.
I think
No, but
she's
she stands.
pretty. Yeah. Sorry, you go. I was gonna say the same thing, so you go.
No, it's fine. You go.
I'll go, guys.
No, we don't want to hear you.
No, she's not afraid.
Go ahead, Jen.
She's not afraid to like go against the grain and stand for what she thinks is right.
Yes.
I think that takes major
Yeah, no, you're right.
courage.
Even with her
Bravery,
friends,
whatever.
because she was
Yeah.
going to rat on her friends for
yeah.
certain
That's
instances.
what I
Because that's something that you would always bring up. Because that shows true bravery. That's something that Neville did in the first book that I think is actually great that he got points for that. It takes a great deal of courage to stand up to your enemies, but an even greater amount of courage to stand up to your friends. And Hermione's done that time in and time out because she knows what's best for her friends, and she sticks up for that. Because Ron and Harry are idiots.
She's so mature.
Maybe there are most familiar Gryffindors, so I think of like Harry and Ron as being the classic Gryffindors. And so I think of Gryffindor qualities as being like a little bit rash, a little bit like act before you think, maybe. And that's why, but that might not even be true. Maybe really bravery is the core Gryffindor attribute. And Hermione is brave, but if the core Ravenclaw attribute is smarts, it feels like that's where she would go.
Yeah.
Would Dumbledore and or the Sorting Hat purposefully put her in Gryffindor, knowing the impact she would have on Gryffindor, on Harry, on Ron, even though in most other situations she would make more of a Ravenclaw?
Also, though, who is like grooming them to be these characteristics, though? That's what I don't understand. Like,
Yeah.
no one's grooming I don't see anyone grooming them to be more brave or Ravenclaw. Like, I don't get what the characteristics of that house. I guess Snape is annoying and kind of evil-ish.
There is some grooming
Sinister.
from, yeah. Wait, what is that? The head of the house?
Yeah.
Or the
head-
house?
Math. I don't know.
Yeah, the head of the house.
Head of the house.
So,
So McGonagall
McGonagall is.
yeah,
and
McGonagall's a bravery.
Snape.
She's standing up to
we don't
Umbridge
know the
here.
other ones though.
Snape is for Slytherin.
Well, I don't remember.
Who is Ravenclaws? You know,
No idea.
Flitwick. And then, do you know who
Oh, yeah.
Hufflepuff's is?
Yeah, I do.
I don't think we've actually. Yeah, I don't think we've.
Umbridge.
I think we've come across this actually once. Umbridge would be the worst.
Oof.
That would teach you guys to stick together. That would be great.
Yeah,
Oh my
seriously.
gosh, yeah.
Professor Sprout.
Oh,
She
yeah.
is
biology
Hufflepuff.
professor.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of the coach. What's the coach?
No, Hooch.
Hooch?
Yeah, Sprout.
She should not be in charge of anything.
No.
I was annoyed that she was the ref
Yeah.
on this.
She messed up everything.
Bad news.
Yeah. Oh, she's the worst. She's the absolute worst. Some person said, Renee said that Hermione isn't creative enough for Ravenclaw, which I think is actually an interesting one because her and Luna are good contrasts in this. Because it's interesting that we know Hermione. People are like, oh, you should be in Ravenclaw, but this is the book where we're introduced to Luna, who seems like a very true Ravenclaw, a little ethereal out there, very creative though. If I want someone fighting, I honestly would love Luna because she's throwing out spells that are so unexpected. It's like in a game of chess when you make a move that's completely out of the blue and people are like, I don't know what to do after that. Luna is like throwing, rabbits at people and they're like,
And they're
what
like,
the heck do I do with these rabbits?
I didn't expect that.
Yeah. I would love having Luna fight for me. That'd be great. But Luna's really clever. Hermione I actually think she's pretty clever, but she's not clever maybe in a Ravenclaw way. Another line. Good luck, Ron, said Hermione, standing on tiptoes and kissing him on the cheek.
Well.
And you, Harry. Ron seemed to come to himself slightly as they walked back across the Great Hall. He touched the spot in his face where Hermione had kissed him, looking puzzled as though he was not quite sure what had just happened. He seemed too distracted to notice much around him, but Harry cast a curious glance at the crown-shaped badges as they passed the Slytherin table, and this time he made out the words etched on them. Weasley is our king. So 2 questions. Was Hermione's kiss tactic a good one? That's the first one.
Oof, tactic. Ouch.
Was it a
But yes,
tactic?
it was. It was a good one.
Yeah?
Yep.
Or was it just genuine friendship and love? Which probably
I
was the
think it
answer.
actually was. I think it was your instinct.
Kiss on the
And a
cheek.
good
I
one.
never kissed a guy on the cheek for a friendship unless they were
No.
like related to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Like, unless I'm saying goodbye to someone, that's not happening.
I don't think I have, and I can't picture a scenario where it
In the
would have made
US.
sense. Yeah, but I'm trying to think if it would be any different there.
In
I
the
mean, there are many
UK?
parts of Europe that might be a little more normal, but in the UK, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
You guys are world travel. Well, you.
But I feel like that's more of that.
You are.
No?
That's why I said what I said. But I was just backtracking to make sure I
I don't
didn't
know. We'll
insult
need to
anyone.
reach out to our British people, see if that's more normal. Because I have a hard time picturing it, but it still comes off cute all the same. And maybe when you're a kid, it's a
comes
little
off
bit
cute.
more. Yeah, like when I was reading it, I wasn't like, ooh, that's weird. But I also thought it's a little bit friendship, but she wouldn't have done this unless there was potentially more. And didn't she kiss Harry on the cheek saying goodbye at the end of the last book? Mm-hmm. So this is a little bit of a Hermione thing. So at the least, it balances that out. Maybe it was her way in the back of her head. She's been like, when I get a chance to kiss someone else, I want Harry to know that there was nothing behind that.
Yeah.
I got to level the playing field a little bit. And this was her
thinking
chance. Oh, 2 birds with
moves
one
ahead,
stone.
yeah.
She's like, I get to encourage Ron, send a signal his way, and also tell Harry, the kiss didn't mean that much. Don't read into that one.
Yeah.
Which would be like her way of saying, oh, yeah, clearly you're interested in Cho. Go pursue that, Harry. For all we know, Hermione's been thinking about both these boys for a while.
Playing the field.
So I don't know. But I
But
liked
she's
it. I
talking
liked
to
it all the
Victor,
same.
So.
She is playing the field.
She is talking to the LeBron James of the Quidditch world right now. Sending massively long letters to the best Quidditch player of all time.
That's what they did. They just talked, right? In
I mean, the movie says he's a physical being.
I forgot because I see your face like. That's not.
But they
true.
did just talk. He was a chatterbox. In
Yeah.
the
That's what they said
It
in
was
the
really-
book.
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah.
And I love that they're sending letters because I can imagine Victor is really excited to get these up north, and he's writing paragraphs and paragraphs and pages and long sections. I feel like I have to tell you everything.
It's so weird that they're writing letters. They have magic.
Yeah, I know.
Like, can't they send like a?
They're writing it on quills. Too,
I'm thinking of Star Wars, like the
hologram. Whoa.
That thing. And they're like talking to each other.
I wonder how far the Flu Network goes.
Yeah, no.
We've never seen it international yet.
You've seen
You
Portkeys
with your
International.
Flu Network and Polyjuice. This guy's
He gets
gonna,
stuck on
you're
things.
gonna appear in a fireplace looking like anyone you want.
Because then I'm like, that is a pretty quick communication. That's like the phone call equivalent, but we haven't seen him do it. And there's not a
Umbridge
place.
is watching.
Yeah, it's true. But like, isn't there a legal way to do that? Like, if Ron wanted to reach out to his parents, he can't just Flu Network discuss something with them.
They should have that. It's like a payphone version.
Right. Like a room full of fireplaces. You can go talk to your parents for a little bit.
The room of requirement
kinda
probably has
cute.
it. Again, that's I find that such a fascinating question that you brought up. What are the limits of the room of requirement? Because couldn't you just say, give me a untapped Flu Network or Flu Chimney, whatever it is, to my parents so I can
I need
call
to
them for an hour.
talk to them now.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. I feel like, I don't know why you couldn't get that. That'd be really interesting.
But does everyone know about this room?
No, not
No.
a ton of students know about this room.
Right. So
Who do you think Hermione? Do you think Hermione loves one of these two?
she loves both of them, John.
Yeah, for sure. Romantically loves.
Agape love.
And when you say you two, or you mean Ron and Crumb?
Ron. Well, okay, so let's talk about Ron, Crumb, and Harry.
All three.
Now it's
three.
3. Wow, Hermione, go girl.
She's playing the field. Does she love romantically one of these three boys?
Ron. Crumb. I think she has a crush on Crumb, but I think deep down it's Ron. And Harry's just too like, I don't know. I don't see them
Yeah. I don't see it at this point.
working out.
I don't see it with Cho either, though.
Harry and Cho.
But I started to see it with Cho.
I
And at
think
the end of the
this
last
is
book, I was like,
this
I
is
don't think
just
it could
a
ever happen. So
small little
things change.
thing. Yeah, I know. But I can't.
Yeah, I think.
I feel like that's a spoiler for me.
But she's being so serious with Crumb. That's what's getting me. That actually could work. Unless they already realized it could never work and all this discussion is totally separate and they're just friends now. Hermione definitely throws people in the friend zone.
It could be it could be an information download. Maybe this is going to come
That's
up
what it's
later,
all
where
about,
she's
yeah.
like, "Tell me if you have someone from the ministry guarding your schools or something like that."
Yeah, nice.
The far north version of Umbridge.
She is smart. She could be doing that.
Who do you think Harry's going to end up with, if he ends up with someone?
Someone we either haven't met yet, maybe Cho,
I feel like it's
or
too
Luna.
obvious.
Yeah. I could see Luna at this point. Honestly, in a weird way, she's kind of a front runner for me because I don't think it
To
could work
who?
out with Cho. Harry,
Oh,
Wait, who?
Luna.
I don't see that at all.
Just because she's experienced death and she's a little bit weird, but the kind of weird that might balance Harry out nicely. And I'd be into
I
that.
feel like
Yeah.
she doesn't want anyone.
Yeah,
She's great
she's doing
independent.
Oh yeah, she's happy.
But I think that's a beautiful setup for a successful relationship.
She's happy
For
in her little
someone
lion
to
head.
literally not care about the other.
No, not that. I don't think she doesn't care. I think she doesn't need someone else. She's a strong, independent woman. She'll be set. But that doesn't mean she doesn't want a teammate. You know?
Maybe she doesn't.
Yeah. So, hard to say. But I just can't picture it with Cho right now. I'm not buying it.
We'll see. Okay, my second question for this one. What's the best bit of trash talk you've ever heard? Like the Weasley is their king line and the song that they're singing. Jim Dale does such a good job of singing that song, right?
Yeah.
I remember listening to that chapter. It's like one of my favorite chapters to listen to because he's so good with that one. He like sings
The
it so well.
sorting hat was great though.
Yeah, he does so good with any song or like limerick. He's so good with it. But I don't know if have you guys like trash talked or heard trash talk, or what's the best bit of trash talk that you've heard?
I'm so bad at trash talk. I just don't even try.
Yeah, I wouldn't be good at it either. It was more like sports, like encouraging with their nicknames, like go, da, da, da. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Something
that's
like
my
that.
best form of trash talk. When I was in college, I like lost my desire to trash talk or be like mean or nasty. So I would say nice
That's
things to the other
probably
team and
good.
make friends with the other team.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful because we'd become friends and I would still go very, very hard at them and like not hold anything back. But because they're like, oh, this guy's kind of cool, they would go a little less hard at me. Constantly, I got that. So
You're
I'd be like
tactic.
striking up a conversation about random stuff with these people while we're on the field. And it was fun. It was really, really fun. It was a good form of trash talk.
I think I was
Smart
annoyed at
tactic.
Harry.
Is that a definition
Because-
of trash talk?
No, it is like it's its own kind of trash talk, right? Like, well, maybe not trash.
It's a
talk,
smart
but-
tactic.
Yeah,
Tactic,
it's a
yes,
tactic. Yeah,
yes.
maybe not trash talk. Yeah.
At some point, I was on a trip with a bunch of friends, and we were playing mini golf, and all the guys wanted to make it like more interesting. So we bet like our fancy steak dinner on mini golf. So then all of a sudden, our 36 holes became much more important, and we were paired up, trash talking the whole thing, and my friend Giovanni, great trash talker, because he can find your weakness and then just exploit it. And so he started getting to my friend Tim, and we were on the team against him and my other friend. And when he would trash talk me while I'm going, he'd come right up behind me. And we weren't allowed to make physical contact. We had to establish those rules. But he would just be like right in my ear. But then after the first couple holes, I realized being silent while he's trash talking is going to be the best trash talk back, because he's so used to getting a response that after a while, no response is the best response. And then that would be my best chance of getting in his head. And then when he's up, being encouraging or being silent rather than trying to fight fire with fire, because if I'm honest, I don't think I could out trash talk Giovanni. So I was like, I'm just going to be silent this entire time. No response, no nothing. No matter how bad I mess up, I'm just going to try and be steady. And I think it worked. We ended up winning. And then by the end, he's like, there's ice in your veins, rolling. And I was like, yes. It was so satisfying.
Actually, I have my own form.
Silly
of-
little compliment, but it
Yes.
meant
Yeah,
a lot at
that's
the
a
moment.
great
I was like, yes.
It's not trash talk, but it's like flirty distraction.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Well.
Let's hear it.
Oh boy. This was a while ago on a date, and we went mini golfing. And you just get, really close, whisper in their ear and distract them. And then I won.
Well.
Nothing much. but
Actually,
just,
that does work. Yep.
Yep.
just like close proximity.
Exactly.
Don't mess up.
Great
Don't,
tactic.
get in their head.
That is a really good one.
It worked. I mean, I was good, but it also worked.
Yeah. I feel like that's what annoys me about Malfoy. He's not that good, and trash talk is all he has.
Yeah.
And he's so confident that even when he has lost, he has trash talk enough to come out with a win somehow. But only because Harry gives it to him. I'm like, don't do it, Harry. Goodness gracious. So I was very frustrated with Harry. But also, like, I don't know where Malfoy gets this confidence from. It is absurd. Mm-hmm. They must be sitting in the common room, like, writing down lyrics to a song. Like, who does that?
Yeah,
They're
but
literally
some-
sitting there, like,
no,
writing
some
lyrics.
Some people are just really good.
Yeah,
at
that, to be fair,
comes,
yeah, you're
like,
right. And maybe they've
naturally.
got these already lined up and they just inserted Ron's name in a song that already was a chant for other teams. But it was just unfortunate. It really got to Ron.
Yeah. Poor guy.
It's a very good Quidditch game though. Ron does terrible because the trash talk really does get to him, but the commentary is excellent. He goes, and it's Johnson with the quaffle. What a player that girl is. I've been saying it for years, but she still won't go out with me.
Yep.
Jordan, yelled Professor McGonagall. Just a fun fact, Professor. Adds a bit of interest.
I have missed his commentary.
No.
I wrote that down. I was like, Lee, you're back.
Yeah.
This is what we need. We need like a Lee's commentator directory or director commentary on the entire books. Just have like
Yes.
Lee rewrite the books. That'd be so entertaining.
That would be amazing. I would love
Yeah, that'd be
that.
awesome.
Oh my gosh, he's so entertaining. But what is the most exciting sports event that you've seen or have been to in person? Because this is an exciting game.
For me, a hockey game at the Garden.
Ooh.
Hands down. There's so much fun.
Who are they playing?
It's been a long time.
Just
any game at the Garden,
Yeah.
because that place just erupts
Yeah.
every time we score. It's so good.
I went to a game when they were playing the Bruins, and it was 4-3 Rangers won, and it was such an exciting game. It was the first hockey game that I've been to since like a kid, and that place went wild.
It's
with
like
excitement.
electric.
Yeah.
I want to go.
Danny, I don't know if you were here, but we went as a big group to an NBA game when we were in high school, and the one guy hit a half-court buzzer beater.
And we lost?
No,
Or we won? Because
He remembers.
vaguely in the back of my head, I remember that happening where the guy like tripped almost
Yes.
and tossed it up.
Devin Harris. It was literally one of the decade's top 10 plays.
Wow.
And
you know
you
what?
saw-
We were at that game. It was a
Whoa.
boring game. It meant nothing. It was a non-playoff game.
Yep.
Like it was end of the season,
Yep.
so it didn't matter at all. And we were at that game.
That's so
Wow.
Because I remember being like watching the game, but maybe it didn't mean that much because I literally didn't remember if we won or lost off that shot. But the shot was epic because I remember that. I have actually looked for the shot before. I went on YouTube and tried to type it in, but I think that would explain why I couldn't find it because I thought it was against us.
Yeah. I'll send you the video.
Yeah,
it is
nice.
an incredible shot.
I love the tense moments at the end of a game.
Yeah.
I think that's like what all the intensity comes from for me. But I don't think I've been to that many like really intense.
How about even just one that
Sporting
you
events.
watched like live on TV? Because for me, in the Olympics,
yeah.
when Michael Phelps was doing the 4x4 and like it was the last leg and the USA was behind just a tiny bit. And then all of a sudden he pulled like one and it was
Oh,
pretty much
yes.
a dead tie, but America
And he
just got
reaches
there
out.
in time because of like he was pushing that last stroke.
And they've
we
got that
won.
picture of his hand
Yeah.
like on just like
Yeah.
so close.
I remember watching that live, like on my feet, screaming for him to go because he was so close. It was one of the most exciting things I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're right. The Olympics does like mean a little bit more.
Yeah.
And to me, it almost doesn't matter what the competition is. Just the fact that it is a competition, I can get psyched about.
Yeah, for sure.
And you throw a sappy story about an underdog, then I'm in.
Yeah.
I like the Subway Series or the World Series. Remember Yankees and Mets?
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
2000, that was a great one.
Yeah.
Except the Yankees won. That was a bummer. But
All right, good. We're all Mets.
We'll get them next time.
USA, when they played England, not this World Cup, that was an exciting game, but the previous one, I think in 2012, that was a great one, or 2010 or something like that. Oh, man, such good games. There is a mark in someone's ceiling because I stood up so fast and their ceiling was low.
Oh
I still
my
talk to him at
goodness.
this point.
With your head?
It was Mark, yeah. We were watching it in his basement and it was a low ceiling. And I remember we scored and I was so excited that I shot up. My head hit it because I'm tall.
Oh
my head
my
slammed it. And
goodness.
I feel like I looked up and I like dented the sheetrock. I was like, oh crap.
Oh my god.
That's how much
funny.
she gets into sports.
Yeah, I know.
Well, good thing
I
it was
love
not like a hard part of the ceiling, or that would have been knocked out.
Knocks himself out by standing
Well,
up.
that's so intense.
Woo!
Oh man.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
I've done that.
I have to like jump to reach ceilings.
Never mind. I jumped and smacked my head on the ceiling one time
Whoa, nice.
going down a flight of stairs as a kid. It was a game. We were. This is so silly. We put the couch cushions down stairs, and then we jumped and made a slide, and I jumped, and the ceiling goes low at the beginning of the steps, and I slammed my head so hard, and then I
Well, thank God the cushions were there.
Yeah. Ouch.
So I'm short, but I hit my head on the ceiling.
Oh, so it's possible for
It's
us.
possible.
Us short people.
Oh, yeah.
Here's another good line. It goes, Harry was not aware of releasing George. All he knew was that a second later, both of them were sprinting toward Malfoy. He had completely forgotten that all teachers were watching. All he wanted to do was cause Malfoy as much pain as possible. With no time to draw out his wand, he merely drew back his fist, clutching the snitch, and sank it as hard as he could into Malfoy's stomach. Were Harry and George right to fight Malfoy?
Yeah, always.
I feel like Malfoy is
don't
not getting
know.
any consequences for
Of
being
course.
like horrible.
Yeah, because no one
true.
ever hears
And
him.
right. And he's not.
And that's what's so annoying.
Yeah. So I was for it.
You know, I think
Pummel him.
in my
I know,
mind,
it sounds bad.
violence isn't the answer. But the thing is,
Really for us, it is.
You guys did that real quick.
I don't know. Like, call me a Hufflepuff or whatever. I don't know. But I think violence would have been, in my mind, an appropriate response to the eyebrow jinx, because that was already physical. Something physical had happened, like, which I felt like was crazy. Like the Slytherins jumped this girl in the hallway and jinx her to try and make it so she can't compete. That was over the line, way more than this. And I did think Malfoy was over the line. I was really annoyed at him, like talking about moms in general, almost a cliche now, like, but it did feel a little bit lame. And then I was just really mad at him, and I was kind of happy that they went to like attack him.
So you agree?
No, but only like the
right
bad side of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's always going to be a part of you that wants to punch someone in the face or get angry or like break something, but then you have to like be better than that and not. So like, if I'm being asked officially, I can't condone that. I'm like, no, it wasn't the right move.
We have to be
better. I'm not like
Apparently. We have
upset
some growth.
at it. I don't know.
I wouldn't take to violence myself, but I would really want someone else.
Yes, exactly. Like that's how it kind of feels.
That's why I was like cheering for them. I'm
And
like,
in this
you go.
situation though, like I cheered when Hermione
Well,
slapped Malfoy, but I couldn't cheer because this felt too far.
Siblings, they don't count.
You've punched your siblings.
We've gotten physical, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
You have so many siblings.
Yeah.
How have you not?
I don't
Did you
know.
not punch your siblings? That's a real question.
Have you?
I don't think
Not
I've
since I
ever-
was like 7, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, like my younger
Yeah.
brother, when we were like
Minor.
little, we would kick each
Yeah,
other.
right.
I don't
sure.
think I've real punched any of my
Yeah,
any of my
exactly.
siblings. They're
Not
like
real.
last second you hold back a little bit. Or like Jen is like I was wailed on it.
Well, that's not punching. I was a good pusher.
Yeah.
That's a little different. It feels more like, all right, I'm not trying to inflict pain, but if you fall down the stairs when I push you, then
Slap push.
slap push.
Jen is throwing
I can
people down the
picture it.
stairs so they hit their head and they don't land on the cushions and they go down the stairs.
Oh boy.
Wow. I
Is that
sound
what
like a
happened to you, Jen?
terrible person. Yeah. My sister pushed me down the stairs. No.
But I don't know. It makes sense, but I was annoyed that they did it. Especially like it's so public. I think at this point, I would have been like, or actually I can't say what I would have done if I was high school in their position, but I wanted them to be bigger,
Right.
stay silent, and then immediately start formulating your own plan of attack, but not physical. Something else, like try to get in their heads. The Slytherins are really good at this. Maybe, like with Giovanni, they might be thinking you can't outdo the Slytherins, but at least try to compete somehow. Whatever, come up with a tactic. Literally sit down and say, what are we going to do about this?
It would have been
How can we
cool if
prevent
they
this?
made like their wand somehow like a microphone so that all the teachers could hear what Malfoy
Yeah,
was saying.
seriously.
That
Yeah.
would be a perfect way of like
Wow,
turning
that is
their
a
tactic
brilliant-
against them. Like you open a howler, let it record everything Malfoy said, and then send it on to the teachers, and you've got it all like, recorded basically.
Man, Jen, you need to be into the games committee over here coming up with these ideas.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Because Malfoy sets him off, and the one thing that drives me crazy in this chapter is Hooch is like controlling Malfoy, or no, controlling Crabbe and Goyle because they send
Because
a
of the late
late
hit with the
bludger.
bludger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's important, but you can deal with them after. There's no more bludgers
Yep.
going around. Deal with the scrum that's happening on the field, and then you can deal with that. She's just like people are talking about how we hate Hooch in here, and we really do. I hate.
I don't know
Hooch.
why she did take so long.
Yeah,
like
I
she
know.
already knew
Yep.
what they did.
It almost felt like it was on purpose.
Yeah.
But I don't think Crabbe's smart enough for that. But like the kind of thing where
Is Hooch the main antagonist of this book?
like could it have been a distraction?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep Hooch up there, whatever. And then it
Kelsey-
gives Malfoy
sorry.
more time.
Kelsey mentions in these books too. She says, "I get how much Draco sucks, but these boys in the book need to control their tempers," and I feel like that's kind of true.
Yeah.
Draco does this all the time. He's trying to stir up your emotions, trying to stir up your anger, so that he gets a response out of you.
Yeah.
It's like literally what he's trying to do. And I know it's difficult, and he sucks, but there's a point where you just laugh. The best form of like counter
Yes.
trash talk is you just look at the
Laugh
guy's
at
face
them.
and you act like it doesn't affect you. Even
Yep.
if it does affect you deeply, you just laugh in his face and say, "Huh, you lost, Malfoy. I just caught the
Yep.
snitch." and you suck at Quidditch. You've never beaten me, Malfoy. Your record's 0-4
Wow.
or 0-3 or whatever it is.
And can you imagine how annoying that would be from Malfoy's perspective? If every
Yeah.
time he opens his mouth, Harry just says 0-4.
Yeah, exactly. Like
He goes to say
scoreboard.
something
Yeah.
else. 0-4.
Scoreboard.
Yeah,
Scoreboard,
literally, one
sucker.
word. It's like, but Harry just can't do it. And
Yeah.
Malfoy knows it, but Malfoy keeps escalating his like verbal attacks because the little stuff isn't working on Harry anymore. And then now he's like, all right, well, I guess I'll try and attack his mom then or whatever else. So the fact that Malfoy has to escalate means he's getting a little desperate.
Yeah, I wouldn't do physical harm to anyone.
You're backtracking now.
Good to know.
Okay, you guys watch out.
I'm not sweating anymore. All right, we can make the podcast as long as we want now. Here's another line that we have. Instead of leaving it to Madam Hooch to sort out, you two decided to give an exhibition of Muggle dueling. Did you, bellowed Professor McGonagall? Have you any idea what you've... Him?
Ugh.
What were your initial
I
thoughts
hate-
when you saw this? Like
Slam
in your head?
the door in her face.
That I
Get out.
Like groaned out loud, and I put the book down for a second. I was like, "She's back."
Did you think that? What did you think her response was going to be? What did you think Umbridge was going to do? Was it going to? Did you think as far as banning them from Quidditch, expelling them,
No.
I thought it was going to be another detention or some other form of punishment. I didn't really even think of that as an option.
Then I was curious though, would she, if it was multiple people detention, would she still have them all write on their, with the quill that writes on your hand, or was that just Harry's punishment?
Right.
I wondered if it was because I felt like that was a battle with McGonagall too.
Yeah.
She had to like one up her. So I wonder if she would have banned them if it
McGonagall, I was
wasn't.
like, you took that well.
I know.
I would have been so
Like
sorry.
if she was the one to start this whole conversation, I wonder what she would have done. 'Cause I feel like it was a one up.
Yeah, for real. And I love
Annoys me.
like I love her. I love McGonagall in this moment because she is angry for the exact right reason. Because I love that she goes, "Have you any idea what you've done?" She was just about to say that, and then Umbridge steps in. Like the answer to her question,
Yep.
this is what you've just done. You've incurred this woman's wrath on you.
You've opened the door for for her to punish you. Yep.
So she's legitimately like, she needs to, I know that she's being very proactive and trying to like keep Harry at bay, but I'm almost like McGonagall, like almost shadow Harry for a little bit. Just tell him, you cannot do this. Harry, you don't understand the stakes. Like sit down and have a longer conversation with him about the stakes of what's going on here.
Yes.
Like, Harry, I know Malfoy sucks, but you cannot keep giving in to him.
I don't think they realize how much he sucks though, honestly.
That's very true. It's
Right.
So
None
true.
of the teachers know
Right.
because he's really good at timing things perfect.
Banned for life? Doesn't even make sense. Does she even have the power to do that? All the decrees are
The whole
educational
Ministry
decrees.
of Magic is literally just
So I feel like her power is based around education. I think she's exaggerating when she says lifelong ban. I think lifelong within schools is the most she could regulate, right?
But then where are you
No.
playing after
Like
school?
professionally, the minor leagues, etc.
Oh, got it.
Well, how is he going to get recruited if
If he doesn't have,
doesn't
yeah,
play his
and
last
that
2
like
years,
that
he
kind of
doesn't
makes
play in
sense.
2
But
years.
for her to say lifelong, I was like, what? And confiscate the brooms?
she has the power to do that? She works for the
That's
Ministry
just
of
so
Magic.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, they could still use their brooms for non-Quidditch reasons.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
can't like summon your broom back away from
you
a
think-
locked up closet.
Locked up magically.
Do you think it would
somewhere.
work?
I hope so.
I feel like she would check daily.
But maybe she
She's
puts a
that
spell
neurotic.
on her closet.
Yeah,
or
like her
something.
whole
Oh, yeah.
wherever she locks these things away.
Maybe if you summon it, the chains will like fly with it. It'll still be on the broom. But you just gotta fly
that'd
with
be
these
cool.
chains for the whole entire time.
Ooh.
Little like stirrups.
Oh man.
Yeah, Umbridge is the worst in these chapters, right?
Yep.
And then she just gets worse after this.
But like,
actually.
what makes her happy? That's what I'm trying. Like, she's getting
Yeah.
a,
During
Such
kiss.
a
she's
good
getting
question.
a kick out of
What
this,
is her
right?
motivation?
Like, I have this power over everyone. And then I'm wondering, is she taking to the next level? Like, is Fudge actually giving her this much power, or is she just like, I'm gonna turn this into what I wanted to? Fudge said this, I'm gonna make it this. And little excerpts,
Yeah.
her own little input.
Yeah. There's an interesting question that people are raising on the chat too. Do you guys think what do you think of Harry? Like, what's your general impression of Harry so far in the book? Is he annoying you or not? Or do you like him more in this book?
I'm liking him more.
Yeah?
Yeah. This was an annoying moment, but it was weird in the section right before, like, he actually started to learn. He's growing because Malfoy was saying things and he was ignoring it. He's like, I can't engage with this. I have to just stay focused. You know, and I think I literally wrote in the margin, like, yeah, go Harry. Because he's learning, and then all of a sudden, you know, Malfoy had to escalate because what he used to do didn't work. Yeah, I wrote, good, he's learning. 2 paragraphs later, Harry's not learning. So I am happy. I am happy with Harry in this book. I'm not annoyed with him. There are annoying moments, but I'm figuring out how he's processing Cedric and all that. In the earlier podcast of this book where Kristen was pointing that out. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. And now we're seeing that even more. And even Cho, she looks like she's got it all together. And now we find out she's crying in the bathrooms and all that. And I'm like, all right, yeah, you're right. Death is a big deal. That matters. So then with that all in mind, I'm like, yeah, he's doing okay.
What about you, Jen?
I think I do like, well, I'm wondering if I like him better because Umbridge is so annoying. Or do I actually like his character? I know he's maturing a little bit.
Yeah, this book definitely shows his maturity, at least to some extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of his like anger and moodiness sometimes is the kid is 15 and he's dealt with all this stuff before him. He's seen a person die, which I mean we're gonna get to. You guys predicted the Thestrals thing pretty well. Yeah. These are kind of trauma responses that he has.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trying to give him a little more, be a little more understanding of his situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, even in these moments, I'm annoyed at him, but also like, it's understandable.
But he's also young. Like that's what
he is.
keep forgetting.
I think in these moments though, it's easy to forget the big picture. Like even like with Quidditch, like that got him. He's like, no. And I'm also like, this is school. This is very like small stuff. And then he's getting through it by thinking about the bigger stuff. Dumbledore's army, actually training because there is Voldemort out there. So I think within the bigger perspective, I'm just glad he didn't like get expelled or anything more serious because in theory, Umbridge could have pushed for something like that. So yeah, I think Harry's learning. He's starting to see the bigger perspective.
Yeah. All right, chapter 20.
Oh boy.
We're on to the next chapter. The questions I have in these chapters are a little shorter because these are kind of buttonhole chapters a bit.
That means nothing.
I always say that, but that means nothing.
Exactly.
Someone give me a very quick summary of Hagrid's tale.
The trio goes to Hagrid's where he tells them about where he's been. Umbridge shows up at the hut suspicious of 3 people being there from the footprints in the snow. Did anything else happen?
No, that was it.
Yeah.
Jen, you want to sum up Hagrid's story? It's not a chapter summary. It's just a story summary.
A story summary? What, he goes with Madame Maxine and goes hunting for giants. And all the giants, or he makes friends with the giants and then there's a Death Eater giant.
Whoa.
And then they spread the word, but nothing was successful as of now with the giants being on Dumbledore's side.
Yeah, that was rough. Proud of
They
Hagrid though.
tried.
Yeah.
He seemed more like brave than I thought maybe.
Yeah.
Like he comes off so gentle
Really?
with the kids.
He's like with all these beasts and animals.
Yeah, it's true, but he's so big. Maybe that doesn't like phase me the same way. But to be like the small one with all these giants, and then the morning after they have literally like killed each other, he goes down there. I was like, oh, that's pretty legit. Like it felt not out of character, but a side of his character we hadn't really seen. I was like, yeah, go Hagrid.
How do you like that Hagrid is back in the story?
It makes me feel
Cozy.
better.
Yeah, cozy's a good word, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the kids have like their little like big brother back to like help them out with
Kind
things.
of. But also Hermione
I know.
doesn't treat him like a big brother or a parent or anything else. Hermione almost views him like a child, like another liability, something she has to worry about. And in a weird way, I kind of understand that.
I was going to say.
Where like him being around is good, but I'm almost like, I don't want him near, I guess, Umbridge, where I'm like, keep him safe somewhere else. Let him go.
Because he's so like happily oblivious.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He's not actually listening to them. And
Yep.
he's just like, oh, I'll be fine.
Yep.
He's
But he
old,
won't
but
be.
he's so innocent still. He still has like the
Yeah.
innocence of his youth, which is interesting. Because I love how easily he dispenses information. At the beginning of the chapter, he's like, I'm not telling you where I was. You're not getting it out of me. Next paragraph, all right, let me regale you. And then halfway through the story, I think one of the characters mentioned that like Hagrid just looked like he was enjoying telling this story after a while.
He's like, oh, I'm getting there. I'm telling
Yeah.
the story. It's so good.
What do you think about Hagrid's story? So you said it makes him feel a little bit more brave, but what do you think of the whole idea that they're trying to get giants on their side? How do you think the whole Hagrid and Maxime dynamic is working? What is just your general impressions on Hagrid going and doing this?
But we don't know if they're a couple, right? No.
Well, they had a lot of time in the cave.
Oh my goodness.
What happens in the cave stays in the cave. Yeah, we don't know they're a couple, but
I asked if they're a couple, not what they did.
hey, I didn't say what they did. They, swapping stories in the cave, playing tic-tac-toe, I don't know how to feel about giants. At first, I thought they were more formidable, but then we find out it's like 80 of them. And by the end of this, less than 80? Yeah, I'm like, how many just died here? And Hagrid made it sound like that was like a somewhat common occurrence. And maybe in a way it is, but it's not that common. The reason the giants were fighting, as far as we can tell, is because the main dude, the Grog or the Gog,
The Gurg.
the Gurg, yeah,
It's a Grog.
the king. Like, so the Gurg, he's like making decisions that some of the giants didn't agree with, and they literally had a mutiny, overthrew him, and then took over. So Hagrid and Madame Maxime kind of like caused the fight. This reaching out is what initiated the uprising, the mutiny. So now I'm like, how many of those giants just died?
But he said they're constantly killing each other, even if they weren't there.
In a general sense, I
they're not
guess, but like
supposed
when
to
there
be
are 80
together.
of them left.
But he said that they're not supposed to live together.
Yeah.
So like this is rare. This is because of everything. It's not just Hagrid and Madame Maxine. It's because of what went on before that sent them to, I guess, is it the wizards and witches?
Yeah.
That
Maybe I'm
sent
just
them to
thinking
the
it's more of like there'd be more of a survival instinct, like as a species. They're like, hey, we're the last ones, so we got to get along. And I'm thinking these are the ones who have survived all of the other killings and death and whatever,
Well, they
and
started
come
to,
together.
right?
But I guess Lord of the Flies. But no, it's
They started to.
yeah. In some sense they did, but then that's what makes me. I just kind of imagine
never
they've been
finished the
living in peace for a while here, and this was like a thing that kind of prompted more. But maybe not. I mean,
But I mean, this is what's going to happen anyway because Voldemort's back.
Yeah. But if they can
So
kill
what's
each
that
other,
on?
and now there's less than 80 of them, how bad is a giant? Like
What do you mean?
if 50 giants roll up, how bad is that at Hogwarts? Can Dumbledore do a spell and take down 50 giants? Or can they throw on goblin armor that's impenetrable and then be a single giant could take down like a dozen wizards? I just don't know how
That's why they want them on
powerful
this
they
side.
are.
So
Or if-
there's a little indication for how powerful they are in the spell that Madame Maxime casts on them. You know what that spell was?
Oh yeah, the gunk eye.
Yeah, nice
Conjunctivitis.
Jen. Oh my gosh, the conjunctivitis curse. Becoming a nerd.
So they're
Harry Potter
kind of
nerd.
like dragons.
Yeah. So I guess they actually at least have some of the same toughness as dragons. For their
Right.
skin. So
Oh, that's a
I'm
great
sure
point.
casting normal spells probably wouldn't work very well against them. And I mean, they're pretty formidable. They're like,
Yeah.
I'm sure if they walk in, they could just like sweep a few wizards off with like a club or something like that.
Are they
Yeah,
good at
natural.
being told what to do though? Like,
Is
is there
like their
like
brain is this big, for
Right.
Their body. That's
But I'm just saying, I'm trying to think like, is it worth it to get them on their team, so to speak?
Yeah.
Like, if they're told to kill, do they have like? I'm trying to search for the words. Do they have that aggression that if it's pointed toward a direct thing, they'll channel all of their energy into that. Because that's a good thing. You know, you would kind of want that, and maybe that would distract them from killing each other. Or is it like pointless? Would they listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
There must be.
I feel like they could be like.
They got to be a big deal because Dumbledore, like literally, he's like, we got to do two things, and this is one of them.
I mean, Dumbledore. There's really good teachers at Hogwarts.
Yeah, he's got some questionable choices.
Great track record so far.
But I also love the way he was telling them to like approach the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dumbledore planned it out so well. With the gifts and the initial gift, then go back, come back the next day with another one, let them expect it.
But look at them. They killed the leader.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like
another factor Dumbledore didn't account for. And that's weird.
Yeah.
It's like he accounted for a lot of that, but he didn't account for infighting within the Giants, unless he did. But why? I don't know.
I mean, are they that unpredictable?
Yeah. Again, then maybe you're onto something. Maybe this is something that Dumbledore predicted all along, and he was hoping that it would go this way.
Like maybe
the Giants aren't trustworthy at all, and
Yep.
they can't have them on their side for specific reasons. So they almost like, would Dumbledore be so bold as to say we need to wage war on the Giants, and this is the only legitimate way we can do that?
Right. And you create some infighting within the Giants because Dumbledore might have known, hey, we're not going to win them over, but we can at least plant some seeds of doubt so that when they become, more aligned with Voldemort, there are some people that are loyal to us. And it becomes like, in my mind, like almost like a ticking time bomb for Voldemort because you've got all of these giants that like can't really be controlled that Voldemort now has firmly on his side in theory. And at some point you might be able to, light a little spark there, start that fire amongst the giants, which could cause trouble for Voldemort. But I don't know how that would play out.
Do you think the Giants are going to be on Voldemort's side now?
Yeah, I kind of think so.
I don't think all of them.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't think all of them, but I was thinking most.
I think they're just afraid of that guy. That's the Death Eater giant.
Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola.
What's his name?
Gorgonzola. We have Gorgonzola.
Crockpot.
Crockpot. Got some great names right now.
Yeah, all the names can be found in the kitchen.
Yum. Hot tamale.
It's a little closer.
Yeah.
Can't reach. Yeah, thank you.
Hot tamale. We're going to give out the hot tamale award later.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
also something in the kitchen.
Volgamat.
Maybe that's the word, kitchen.
That's the word, kitchen?
Yeah.
Huh. That's the word, I guess.
I was trying to piece together what you were
We'll
saying.
go down to the
word.
kitchen by the house.
Yes, then it's a word.
It's a word.
Yes, the word.
It went over my head.
It went
Lots of
over
things.
everyone's head, so it's fine.
That's probably not the word. Maybe kitchen is the word. Why does Hagrid have all these bruises and why is he battered up? Is it because he got in a
Madame
fight?
Maxine.
Really?
Whoa.
In the cave?
With the blood. No.
What?
Well, she's a very capable wizard.
Stone bat thing.
Yeah.
What the heck is that called?
Club?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Did they like get in a fight or something?
Yeah, like something. Yeah.
Something.
Or like the other, whatever.
The other fight.
Something like that.
Parents tell kids. They were wrestling.
Oh my.
So he's all battered up because of that.
Oh boy.
No, that was a joke. I think.
Maybe that's canon. Maybe we'll find that out later. There's gonna be some little Hagrids running around.
Oh man.
Or maybe Madame Maxine and him actually got into a fight at the end.
I do feel like he
disagreed.
went back to France with her. But for how long? I don't know.
But
Because his
did
trip
they
was
fight?
too long.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did fight. But I'm trying to think, there was something that made it sound like he was over there hanging out. What are her horse things called that pull her carriage with all the people?
Don't look at me.
I feel like that there was a reference to that made me think, oh, he was over there like taking care of those horses and
The whiskey drinkers.
the
Yeah.
whiskey
Oh, yeah.
drinkers.
Single
Yeah.
malt whiskey. I think they were just giant horses, I want to say.
Because maybe it wasn't even this chapter. Maybe he said it while he was teaching class to Umbridge or something. But I was like, it made me think he was in France with her. And that's not a bad backup plan if he gets booted from Hogwarts, which makes me Umbridge. You know, if she had her way, makes me think that's what would happen.
They're pulled by a dozen Abraxans.
Yeah, I think he did say that.
Giant horses.
Yeah. Palomino, Abraxan winged horses.
Because I think that's what he said. Well, I'll see when I get to it, but I think it was a different kind of experience that left him battered and bruised.
Like what?
If he walked from France back to Hogwarts, there must have been something.
You think it's like Voldemort people?
No, I wouldn't think it would be
An
like
animal.
quite like that. It would be almost more likely that would happen. Something silly like
A
he
dragon?
was like, "Whoa, I never see these up in Scotland. Cool, let me try and catch this
what
beast."
What was his dragon's name? Maybe he went to go.
Norbert.
His dragon, Norbert. Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Maybe he went
Book
to
one.
cuddle with him.
Wow, that's a great point. It did sound like they were way out in that direction.
Oh,
a tail to the face.
I want a hug, and then he gets
Yeah, it's a good tail to
Wow,
the
that's
face.
brilliant, man. Norbert out in the wild. He wanted to give a
The
hug.
conjunctivitis curse came up in this, so maybe she's putting all the pieces together here. But we do have this line where it goes, Hagrid, and when Umbridge finally comes, he goes, "I've been away for me health," he said. "For your health," repeated Professor Umbridge. Her eyes traveled over Hagrid's discolored and swollen face. Dragon blood dripped gently and silently onto his waistcoat. "I see." "Yeah," said Hagrid. "Bit of fresh air. You know?" "Yes, as gamekeeper, fresh air must be so difficult to come by," said
Such
Umbridge
a
sweetly.
brat.
I know.
The small patch of Hagrid's face that was not black or purple flushed. How do you think the Hagrid and Umbridge dynamic is going to work out? And do you think that Hagrid is going to get sacked in the end?
Yeah.
Really?
Sacked. And the other eye.
Socked.
I was gonna say.
I know.
That's a good play on words. I like that one. Because I mean, the next chapter, she is...
But she basically stayed there for 5 seconds and was like, "Yep, I got everything I need."
And she already made up her mind. And
Yeah.
she's talking to students in the middle of class. It made no sense. And she's saying things
She's
loud
so
enough that he can
distracting.
hear.
And she was so rude when
she's
she was
trying
like,
to throw him off.
she thought that he couldn't understand her, right? So
Oh
she
my
started
goodness.
talking louder and
Condescending.
slower. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Oof.
That really bothered me. Mm-hmm. I wanted to punch her. I mean, no violence.
Emotionally
she-
punch her.
She could use a good punch.
Push her.
Yeah,
Jen
she
wants to
probably
push
could.
her
Yeah.
down the stairs.
It's a good move. Survival
I think
of the
when
siblings.
I can't imagine Hagrid being good at coming up with a last minute like lie about like where he was. I think he actually was in the south of France. And I think he really was riding the Abraxans because he said like a friend of mine breeds Abraxan horses. And I think that's probably what it was. I think he was out there hanging out with them. That doesn't mean that's where he got all his cuts and bruises, but I feel like he probably was, at least for a little bit. And then on the way home,
Could you ride that other type of horse thing? What?
Thestrals?
Yeah.
I don't think so because the impression I'm given is that those carriages are normal size carriages holding 4 people, and the horses would be normal sized.
Got it.
If however many of them can be fed by half a cow. But he's talking about a giant horse that he could actually ride, and he says, yeah, he could ride them. Could have been lying. But what?
He says he could actually ride them.
Yeah.
A
Which would be
long-winded
pretty
way,
fun.
so- yeah, for sure. Thestrals are very cool creatures. We'll talk about them in the next chapter, but it's one of my favorite little bits of magic that is introduced into the world. Just the concept that people who have seen death are able to see Thestrals, and that they're
But
known as
I have one thing.
what?
How come Harry didn't see it before? I'm sure that's been brought up before, but he saw his parents die even if he was 1 or not 1.
Yep.
Or almost 1. And he only started seeing it after Cedric died.
Yep.
That was weird. I don't like that.
So
Wait, does that mean his parents aren't dead?
Or they didn't die right in front of him,
They did.
but they could have been in another room or something. Like, does it have to be like right in front of you?
So I did something in the Goblet of Fire book very briefly that I just wanted to call back to because I kept thinking about this in the moment. When they leave Hogwarts, it actually mentions they see the horseless carriages, and we're getting it from Harry's perspective. He has just seen Cedric die, and he has not been able to see the Thestrals. So one of the big questions that I asked you guys during that section was, do you think Harry has processed through Cedric's death? And you guys unanimously said no, not yet. It's going to take him the whole summer. When he was able to process through that death, and this is like the canon for this, when he's able to process, when someone has seen death and they're able to process through that death, then they are able to see Thestrals.
That makes a lot of sense.
So Harry, being so young, couldn't. Yeah.
His parents.
And so, and when Cedric died, that wasn't a processed. He was still in shell-shocked mode. Mm-hmm. So it's when you've seen it and been able to process the death is when you're actually able to see a Thestral.
Like you understand.
They didn't explain that very well in this chapter.
I
know. They just said, well, I guess it's Hagrid's class.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was interrupted. If Umbridge didn't show up, I'm sure he would have gone into the details for us. Yep.
You keep telling yourself that.
Nah, he's getting better. He had a lot of time in the cave
class.
to write lesson plans in his head.
His class, I'd be terrified, but I think it would be fun. You're like doing things, not just sitting and learning about. I hate.
It's like an activity class. It's kind of nice. Like Umbridge's class would drive me crazy, but I would like going to Hagrid's, even though it's like terrible creatures. I would still love going there.
Yeah. I would be sleeping in Umbridge's class, and I wonder what she would do to me then.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe she'd be happy, actually, because you're not learning anything.
That's true.
Exactly what I wanted. Maybe that's what her whole drive is to do. Get these children to sleep through their education. Anything else in this chapter before we go to the last?
I was annoyed that they brought the invisibility cloak because they knew it was important to be not seen, and they didn't like cover their tracks.
I know, ridiculous.
But guys, I also don't understand how Umbridge knows where everyone is all the time. Why is she's always tracking Harry?
Like she knew right away. I don't think it was Harry necessarily, but
how would she know that Hagrid's
right?
back? And immediately when you come back, I'm going to be there. That was weird.
Yeah. Maybe she just monitors some of the doors.
She knows everything that's happening.
Yeah.
She knew the serious thing that was happening. She intercepted Hedwig.
That's why I find her weird. She's not just like...
Maybe there are more resources at the ministry being put into this than we've seen. And she's like got other people reporting in and saying...
Or she's an animagus.
Whoa. What would she be?
A toad.
Oh, right. Of course. But how would that help her see things?
She could be everywhere. She would have to be a bird.
Yeah.
That's how she was getting to Flit. No, what's the guy that cleans? No.
Filch.
I knew it was an F. Wow. Just in book, 5?
Yeah, but he hasn't come up that much.
Yeah. He's like a side character, a little random side character.
But what I'm wondering is the owlry. Mm-hmm. When Harry was there with Cho, and he comes running up, I'm like, was she in there? Was she an owl? And like came back and said something. Go get Harry. He's in there. I need that letter. I know she didn't say it like that. Whatever she.
Right.
It was dung bombs or whatever.
She can transfigure herself into multiple different animals. Maybe she learned from this Wagadoo school, and they're very good at animal transfiguration.
But that's why she also hates like the semi-animal.
Yeah, the half-breeds, yeah.
Half-breeds, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she is one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when she's in toad mode, she could ride an owl like a horse.
Toad
mode? She's got a little saddle and everything.
Oh my gosh. And she's the one that hurt Hedwig.
Yeah.
She's on their side. I know it. She's too evil.
Filch. We need a Filch Umbridge marriage union going on right here. A little side quest.
Oh gosh. But Filch is better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because in comparison to some of the greater evils we're seeing, I actually like someone like Filch. I'm like, okay. Like, I get it. His minor grumpy things, though, they feel like they almost feel pleasant in
He's a
comparison.
squib.
But like endearing. Like he doesn't want dirt on the floor.
Yeah,
He wants like
I
things to be
know.
nice. I'm like, oh, well, now that we've seen like real evil, that's almost comforting. It'd be nice if those were our biggest issues, you know? The issues from book 1 where Filch being upset is the worst thing in the world.
Anything else in this chapter?
Oh, that's it.
You sure?
There's always more, but that's the important stuff.
We'll get there in a minute.
All right, someone give me a chapter of, or a summary of chapter 21, The Eye of the Snake.
All right. Hagrid taught his class, showed the Thestrals, and Umbridge audited the class, and she was very intimidating. And then there was another meeting of Dumbledore's army. Harry found out he can go to the Burrow for Christmas, at least if everything goes that way, we don't know. And Harry kissed Cho after one of the Dumbledore's army meetings, but it kind of left him confused. And then at the end, he had a dream about Mr. Weasley getting attacked by a snake. And he's real worried. And we're left hanging.
Someone just mentioned this. Can you guys refresh my memory? We needed to team think on this one because I know it's in the movies, but I don't think it's in the books. When they are in the very, very first movie, when they're walking down to the Forbidden Forest to do their detention with Hagrid, and Filch goes, I miss the old forms of torture. We have chains hanging up or something like that. And he goes, God, I miss the screaming. That's not in the books, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think that's in the books.
I don't think
Filch
so.
in the books is not so sadistic.
He's not
and
as bad.
Terrible.
Yeah. Although there might have been a reference to screaming.
Yeah,
at
I
some
think there
point.
might have been. Yeah, the
Yeah.
shackles.
I'm sure you underlined it. So
Yeah, I'll go back to the first book. Oh man, yeah, we might have to crowdsould that one because I don't remember. I'm sure there was a reference that wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah, that would be rough.
He's not a lovable character. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to defend him in that regard. But,
You just never mind.
but
It is interesting in this book, though, how different characters, you hate them or love them more or less because of this one single
Yeah, like
character.
Harry.
Yeah. Yep. Harry's character gets like better because of Umbridge and how terrible she is. What about a character like Snape? Is Snape better or worse?
Everyone's better, I
Yeah,
guess.
everyone literally becomes better because of her.
What do you think? Because he was worse for you before.
yeah, he's not top of my list anymore. Now he's definitely second to Umbridge. He's still a little bit around, but not that much.
Yeah.
He hasn't come up really, so it's really just been Umbridge, and then a little bit at the end of this chapter brought back Voldemort as a character, or Nagini, I'm thinking in this case. And I'm like, oh, whoa, yeah, there's more going on. This chapter and these like last 3 that we read really brought me to Hogwarts. That was it. Like that was the only focus. I wasn't really thinking about it. Even during the Giant story, it was hard to like see the big picture. So everyone else kind of fell off a little bit. And Snape, I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's bad. I don't like him, but like he hasn't done too much. So whatever. Umbridge is it.
Kelsey and Toodles mentioned the shackles are definitely mentioned. They mentioned polished shackles on Filch's office. So
Polished shackles.
he is a little weird.
He is definitely weird.
Well, maybe.
But I feel bad for him. I want him to get his wife back.
Yeah, right, Mrs. Norris.
Yeah. I forget all the details, but we were just like speculating his squibness and other stuff, and so yeah.
Oh gosh. We would
But also, I think we're just losing sight of some of that because there's bigger stuff going on. But he might come back around and be evil again. I haven't seen it. We'll see.
There's a few lines that start this chapter off that are good. The first one, "Oi," bellowed Ron, finally losing patience and sticking his head out of the window. "I am a prefect, and if one more snowball hits this window, ouch!" He withdrew his head sharply, his face covered in snow. "It's Fred and George," he said bitterly, slamming the window behind him. "Gits." And then this is when they have the lesson. "Don't worry, it won't hurt you," said Hagrid patiently. "Right, now who can tell me why some of you can see him and some of you can't?" Hermione raised her hand. "Go on then," said Hagrid, beaming at her. "The only people who can see Thestrals," she said, "are people who have seen death." "That's exactly right," said Hagrid solemnly. 10 points to Gryffindor. Now Thestrals, Professor Umbridge had arrived. So what do you think of Thestrals? We did a little bit of this before, but what are your just general thoughts on Thestrals?
Pretty sweet.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And it's cool that it would be... actually, I never really thought about this. I'm assuming that it's still only wizards that could see them. And it would be wizards who had seen death. So I kind of think it's funny or weird that they could be out there in the Muggle world, but just nobody sees them. But actually, now I'm not sure if I just thought that, and maybe it's not true at all.
But they have one thing that I like about them. They have that omen that Pavarti was talking about.
Yeah.
They're like bad omens in the divination world.
Like, yeah, right. Do we believe that? Is that a Trelawney
Yeah.
thing that we should be like, ooh, it's not great? But if it's
Hagrid
known,
explains it well.
Yeah, right.
They have that because they're associated with death, and people don't like the idea of death. So when you've been able to process that, that's why Luna is an interesting one. I feel like she might almost even have a love for some of these creatures. Because I feel like she's been able to process the death in a different way than Harry and Neville might be. Neville still refrains from that, and the other whatchamacallit, the kid,
Slytherin?
yeah, the Slytherin. No, nothing's really mentioned of him. But Luna seemed to like have an almost endearment toward these creatures when she was seeing. She wasn't afraid of them at all, which is very part and parcel of what Luna is. She's confident. Even if something goes terrible in her life, she's able to process through that well, I think.
And she probably sees them, it's more of a product of what has happened. Mm-hmm. And like, if you haven't gone through that, I get why the omen thing is tied to it.
Yeah, seriously. It feels like it's bad, but even like the look of these creatures are like deathly. There's a decent picture in the books. I think there's one that comes up later that I'll show you guys, but there's a good picture in the books of how like gaunt and there's like no flesh on them. They look really weird, but they're dead clever. Hagrid says their sense of direction is the best. Dumbledore uses them to fly sometimes when he doesn't want to use apparition or a broom or whatever it was.
And that changed my mindset a little bit too. The fact that that Dumbledore would ride them.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, they're not just pulling carriages.
Yeah.
Dumbledore trusts them, and they have a great sense of direction. They're clever. Like that kind of thing, I'm like, there's like a little more to them. Mm-hmm. They're not just dumb creatures out there, and they're not like as violent as maybe we project on them.
Yeah. And Hagrid does say that line in front of Umbridge too, which drives me a little crazy.
Like giving away a little trick.
Like,
yeah.
Don't tell her about Dumbledore's travel habits. Don't give her any bit of information. Nothing, because she's going to use that to her advantage.
When she was there.
Yeah.
And I feel like even when Hagrid and M&M were heading off to find the giants, it feels like they were confirming a little bit our theory that, not even theory now, like we know the Ministry can see where magic is used and tell addresses it was used at. So the same could be used to track somebody if they're like, oh, somebody might be going out to find the giants. Let's just keep an eye out for anything in that mountain range where magic is being done near the giants, and it would kind of give away like something. And I mean, maybe that's what brought the Death Eaters over to the giants to begin with, because they saw the spike in magic when M&M was having to cast the spells to get out of there that night. But I think that's another clever way Dumbledore could have dodged the eyes of the Ministry if it doesn't show up on a magic map when he's flying on a Thestral. But I guess that's not going to be dependable anymore if Umbridge knows about it now.
Umbridge is not okay after this, right? After this whole lesson, we all hate Umbridge collectively. We all hated her before.
Yeah.
This question is mainly for Danny.
Yeah.
Nah, I can get on board now.
Yeah.
Don't like her.
And then we get this line that drives me crazy, where she's walking around and she goes, "You can see Thestrals, Longbottom, can you?" She said. Neville nodded. "Who did you see die?" she asked, her tone indifferent. My granddad," said Neville. So we're learning a lot about Neville here. He saw his granddad die. He lives with his grandmother, and his parents are insane from being tortured to death. Neville's backstory is so tragic, but this kid is still...
I'm not surprised you love it.
It's so depressing, but it's so...
Right up your alley.
This kid is just still moving forward in his life. like still deeply scarred, but choosing to live like every single day. And he lives it with courage. He lives it with like he's growing as a Gryffindor in fierce bravery. He wants to fight people who he is fighting for justice. If you insult his parents, if you insult anybody who is like crazy, he is going to kill you. And one line that I always remember, I forgot what it's from. I think it's just like a general quote, but it's always the gentle people that you have to look out for when they lose their temper. Mm-hmm. Like an unpredictable person, when they lose their temper, they're actually really predictable. Like, you know they're going to lose their temper and it happens anytime. But a gentle person who's calm, all of a sudden they lose their temper, be aware of that person because they're losing it probably for the right reason. And I think Neville is a great indication of that. I love Neville in this moment and all these moments that we get.
I love that Harry is his partner for a lot of the DA practice too, because he's getting like full on one-on-one tutoring. I feel like everyone else is just getting Harry walking around.
It is great.
But then I'm thinking if herbology is his best class, how does that play into fighting against the defense against the dark arts? I'm just curious.
You can throw, in the video game, you can throw Chinese chomping cabbages and mandrakes, and you can use a mandrake on enemies. Nice. Chinese chomping cabbages, and you can actually throw a tentacular, venomous tentacular, and it will spit things at you.
Awesome. That totally solved my answer.
So what about like Devil Snare? Devil Snare's in the first book. It can trip people up.
You think I remember all this stuff.
Devil Snares was like
you remember it, you just don't realize.
Yeah, exactly,
you do, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, can you dumb it down? Medical terms that you're using? I need it.
That came up when they first jumped down. I think that was after Fluffy. So they lull Fluffy to sleep, open the trapdoor, and then they jump down and they start getting attacked by those the roots of some tree. And then Hermione thinks to cast what's the light spell?
Lumos, yeah.
I wanted Jen to get it.
I'm sorry. Dang it. I'm never going to answer that question.
No, most of the time I think I need you to, but so she does Lumos and then
come on, Jen, let's learn.
So then it goes away because it doesn't like the light. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, but in the movie it's different.
Oh, I actually don't remember in the movie.
It's like don't move, and then they just fall.
Oh, they had to be still, and they went through it. Yeah. Well, I think the book technique is better, and I wonder if Neville could ever use that in a battle. That'd be sweet. But we know he's got his plant that spurts stuff everywhere.
Yeah, stink sap everywhere.
So.
All right, he's got something.
But you're right. But he's learning the stuff that isn't even his like go-to stuff. So that's going to make him pretty powerful if he's learning the stuff that is his weakness. And he's still got other strengths that he's not even touching.
Well, potions is his weakness.
Yeah, you're right.
He's the worst at potions.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I thought herbology and potions would be more similar in my mind.
Yeah.
Because you would know, I don't know.
At least you know the ingredients for things.
Right.
Yeah, Neville could be the supplier for a potion store.
Yeah.
Anyway. Harry, though, is going to the Burrow for Christmas. Which is like all the warm fuzzies. Love that.
So
yes.
I thought he was
We're all looking at Kristen. That's her favorite moment of this chapter, by the way, probably.
Yes.
But Ron didn't even tell Harry.
I was
know.
Like, what the heck is Ron doing? Are you kidding me?
Ron, he was too nervous about Quidditch.
Yeah,
that's all he could think about.
What was the most memorable Christmas that you've ever had?
Ooh. I love each and every one of them. They're all great.
It's true.
But I remember some kid ones because of the toys I got.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Some big present ones.
What was the best present that you got when you were a kid? You remember?
The one that stands out the most is when we got they were like toy cars that you could ride in, but they had pedals. So instead of the automated like Jeep that's battery operated, it's one that you would like pedal. Yeah. But we each got our own, and that was really cool.
Yeah. That was like the it gift when we were kids. I wanted one of those so bad.
It was great.
N64 year was a great year.
Ugh.
That was the best gift I ever got, probably.
It was terrible for us because it was a collective gift from our great aunt. Each year it was like this big gift that we got. And
Whoa.
my brothers opened whatever. Oh, it was a PlayStation.
Still,
Whatever
same,
it was, they opened it. And my sister and I were like, are you kidding me?
This is
It
our
was
gift.
for all of us.
Oh, no.
We're like, well, we were gypped.
Yeah.
I want another gift.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think my
Kristen's
sister
over
got
here
her
going,
own gift
30,
that
36
year.
gifts. Last year I had 38 gifts.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I am
reference.
not like that. Oh, man.
My Australian Christmas was pretty memorable.
That sounds
A little sad, away from family, but
Yeah.
memorable in its own way.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say this past Christmas. Because my brothers live in different states. So I always love when they get to come and visit.
Yeah.
And, all my nieces and nephews are there. So, missing grandparents is always sad. But
Yeah.
like everybody that's here, we were all together. So that makes me happy.
It's a quality Christmas.
Yeah.
The last few years have been fun too with my niece. Every year she's older is like more talkative and more fun to be around.
Yeah.
That's so weird with having the next generation because then you could be the cool aunt giving the
Yep.
gifts they'll never
Yeah,
forget.
that's
Oh
what
my
I am.
Goodness.
It's so
Yeah.
fun.
Elsa is very popular
Oh, yeah.
right now.
My niece will not get rid. Every single day she wears her Elsa dress.
Oh my gosh. My nieces last night, I have these little crocheted hats that someone gave us, and they're Elsa and Anna. They have like a little crocheted braid, and they both came out
With the
all decked out in like
Yeah, it's
little
such a
shoes
big-
and the hat. And I was like, it's Elsa and Anna.
That is so great.
It's cute.
so cute. I can't believe it's still.
I know.
kicking. It'll never end.
No.
I love it still. Too. I mean, I'm not wearing the
classic.
dress and the braid, but
Are you though?
I mean,
In secret.
When they go to the DA meeting, this is the line that we get. Well, said Angelina dully, pulling off her cloak and throwing it into a corner. We finally replaced you. Replace me, said Harry blankly. You and Fred and George, she said impatiently. We've got another seeker. Who? Said Harry quickly. Ginny Weasley, said Katie. You think Ginny is going to be good at Quidditch?
yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna be good at Quidditch.
Why do you say that?
She's tiny.
She's
powerful,
clever.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like,
She's the hot tamale.
yeah, I'm like, she's about to
She
get
is
the hot
hot
tamale
tamale.
again. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I feel like she would be. And when you grow up with like older brothers that are obsessed with something like this, I feel like she would either not be good at it at all and wouldn't even have any interest. But the fact that she's interested in it makes me think she's good.
I wonder
And
if they ever used her. I'm
I
thinking
know.
of me because
Yeah.
my brothers played hockey.
Right?
And they used me as the goalie one time because they were
Throw you
like,
in
you
goal."
dance, you can do splits, be the goalie. I was terrified. That didn't last long. But I
Yeah.
can see that like Fred and George doing that.
I was thinking, I'm like, she has all older brothers.
Right.
So she's tough too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the Quidditch set they got for Christmas, all the other kids are playing with the bludgers and the snitch is just sitting on the side.
Yep.
She entertains herself with the
Yeah.
snitch.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I could totally see her being
Flies
great at it.
himself.
Well, yeah, because then the snitch can run around. She can do that. Less risk of getting hurt playing with the boys.
Like even just running around with it in the house. There was the one image in the
Get
Marauders
Malfoy back.
when I think they get an image of James in the Prisoner of Azkaban. He has a snitch and he's letting it go and he's catching it every single time or something like that. I feel like Ginny is doing that. She's
Yeah.
like sitting at home while the brothers are away at school and she's just letting it go and like catching it, letting it go a little further, catching it after that. So hot tamale, maybe.
And also, she's still young too.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. She can only get better from here.
yeah.
Can only go up.
Yeah. Why don't they have subs? I think we said that at some other point. Like, if somebody doesn't show up or gets sick or whatever, they just cancel the match. And I'm thinking, why don't you have backup people for every
yeah.
job?
These
So if
exist.
something
That's all
happens, like, you never have to cancel a match, first of all. And if something like this happens, you're ready. At least build up the youngins.
especially having a Harry on the team.
Yeah.
You want to back up.
Yeah,
I mean, I know
goodness.
he's the best.
And then even when
but
people
he's
are
always
just
getting into trouble.
graduating, having someone ready to go. Like, oh, someone's
Yeah.
a 7th year. Good. Let's bring in some of our 5th year is going to be ready to take
Yeah,
over.
seriously,
And
training.
we've got a 3rd year lined up
you
too.
need a
That's
full
going to start.
practice squad.
Yep.
Like first of all, to scrimmage each other during practice rather than just doing drills the whole time. And second of all, to train another unit to come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need a practice squad.
Weird that they don't have it. I don't get it.
Oh, I know. A few other things. When Cho was hanging back during the DA meeting, did you guys know of everything that was happening? So one of the reasons that I asked this was that Hermione, when Harry goes and explains everything, Hermione pretty much says that, oh yeah, she was hanging back. Did she kiss you, Harry? This is what she's feeling. This is what she knew everything that was going to happen. And I'm like, when she left that DA meeting and she saw Cho hanging back, I'm like, in her mind, she put all the pieces together.
Yeah.
Did you guys put all the pieces together too? Did you know what was happening during that thing? Like even with her crying, all that kind of stuff, did you kind of predict some of the stuff that was going to happen, or were you expecting more like a romantic encounter?
I was thinking romance.
Yeah.
No, I just thought she was crying to him.
Yeah.
So you weren't thinking any romance, just tears.
No, I think some. Oh, jeez.
No, I'm asking.
That's a great line.
I don't even know my thought process. It's like grilling me. No romance, just friends.
Just friends. Yeah, like do you think of him that way, or do you think she was into it? Or do you think Harry forced it a little bit?
Wait, what are we talking? The kids?
Yeah,
I feel
the
like
whole
he
thing.
just stood there.
And he received it. And if she...
force anything.
Oh,
I don't know. I genuinely... I'm just asking
we
because...
don't get any of that picture because she leaves it right where he sees the water
Yes.
coming down from her eyelashes.
She's coming
yeah.
closer and closer.
But how
Yep.
do we know that Harry's not coming closer a little bit?
Yeah,
Isn't that the 90-10 rule?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
supposed to be. I
Exactly.
pictured him just being like this.
Yeah.
Like she might have gone 100,
bored.
but
Yes.
she knew. Or maybe he did the 10 at the very end. We can hope. But I don't know. But I'm curious that you thought it was more about tears, or am I putting words in your mouth? Is that what you thought?
Yeah, you're putting words in my mouth. That's okay.
Yeah, I want the words from your mouth.
Do you?
Yep. So what kind of words you got? What did you view the situation as?
Well, first off, I was listening while I was walking on the treadmill, so I kind of missed. And I had to re-listen to it, and I was like, wait, so they kissed. Okay, got it.
Because I mean, that's not exactly explicit.
Yeah.
Until they're explaining it. Because this is what happens. He goes, well, Ron said, finally looking up at Harry, how was it? Harry considered for a moment. Wet, he said truthfully. Ron made a noise that might have indicated jubilation or disgust. It was hard to tell.
line.
Because she was crying, Harry continued heavily. Oh, said Ron, his smile fading slightly. Are you that bad at kissing? And Hermione's like, he's an okay kisser. And Ron's like, how do you know that? It's a great little section.
Yeah, so good.
So there's like a lot of funny moments in this, but it's also punctuated
Let me
by
guess
some...
your next question to us.
What?
Oh boy.
What's my next question?
What was your first kiss like?
Yes, that's my question.
Excellent.
What was your first kiss, guys? Jen, that was one of my questions, but thank you for asking that. You just put yourself in a box
I'm the
here.
facilitator, so I don't have to answer. And you have.
I always answer my own questions.
I know you
True.
do.
All right, Jen, what was your first kiss?
No, you go first.
I fell asleep during mine.
What? During? How long was your first kiss?
It was very late. And it was a mistake. I was falling asleep and he thought I was going in.
No way.
Sorry.
That's like from
Worse than a
movie.
wet kiss.
Oh my goodness. Did
Did
you
you
wake
wake
up?
Well, yeah. Whoa.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But it started off as a mistake.
Were you happy when you woke up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I was like, first kisses aren't
Yeah.
the greatest. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But I just remember that I was like, oh, I was falling asleep. Sorry.
Oh my. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah. It's pretty much the story of my life. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Lines up. How about you guys?
I was gonna say, was there a second kiss, a redemption?
Mine was pretty
whatever.
normal. It wasn't
Yeah.
good, but it was pretty normal. I didn't fall asleep during it or cry.
Oh boy.
Post prom, junior, senior. That's what we called
Nice.
it. Classic. Yep. On the CD that I made for the mix for the car ride to prom, I had a hidden song for myself, pump up song, Kiss the Girl. Threw it on there knowing it was
let's
coming.
go.
I had to skip it when it came along because it was a long drive. But I didn't want her to hear it. But I knew it was there.
Wait, like Little Mermaid?
Gosh.
Yeah, Little Mermaid. Yes. That's my pump up song.
That really
That is such a good
Yeah.
pump up song.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I have one. Oh, same one.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness.
That's funny.
But it worked. It was pretty good.
Who was it?
Laura. Yeah.
Oh, it's right.
Junior year.
Wow.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Classic.
Classic. Classic.
Yep.
Jen?
Now you're going on to the next question.
You ask a question, you answer it.
Yeah, your typical awkward.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah.
She does not want to tell the story. She's like, why did I ask this?
Oh man. Yeah, it was. Never mind.
Wow.
There's a great part, but I'm not saying
Come
this.
on.
for
No,
later.
we're not going to ask names or anything.
Yeah, but it's just weird.
Any
than falling
weirder
asleep
than-
during
I
your
was gonna
kiss.
say.
Weirder than falling asleep. I can say that.
No, it's not that weird. It's just I'm overanalyzing it, and I don't want to say it.
Oh, I'll pull it out of you later.
Probably.
I want to
Come
know.
on.
I want to know.
Everyone wants to hear it.
No, they don't.
They definitely do.
I mean,
actually. yeah,
you've
for sure.
built it up now.
No, I know. Now I don't want to say because it's really not that
Yes, that's true. That does happen sometimes. You're like, oh no, it's not worth all this.
great. It was like, well, did you ever in Hitch? I watched like the behind the scenes of Hitch, and like, what's her name? The actress.
Mendes?
Yes, she says that she eats like all the onions and stuff before she does like a kiss scene. And then
she does?
Will
Why
Smith,
would she do that?
I don't know. This was a like behind.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it was similar to that, eating all these different things, and then he's like, "I gotta eat that. I gotta eat this." And like, stay the same.
Wait, staying the same
So
to
that
be
like one
equivalent?
person doesn't have onion breath. Like
You
you're
want
both.
equivalent
you're like
breath.
matching?
My goodness.
Yeah,
I have never
matching.
once
Did
thought
you have
of
onion
this.
breath?
Yeah.
What the?
I'm trying to
I had
track.
Doritos, and he's like, "I need some Doritos," and then it
Okay,
was something else.
yeah. Cheesy.
Yeah.
That's not so
And
bad.
then I'm like, why is he like copying me? And then I realized
He was doing that.
he was like making sure that he was up to speed with
Wow, what in the world?
What a first kiss. Oh
You guys
my
were both so
gosh.
much on the same page of where the night was
Yeah.
going. You're like, let's prepare.
yeah, because my friend shoved me in a room with him. So
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Classic 7 minutes in heaven,
Oh, yeah.
7 seconds.
Oh,
Oh.
Gross Dorito
Spin the
minutes. in
bottle.
heaven. Onion minutes. That was great. Good story. This is a good line too with Hermione's intuition. She goes, well, obviously she's feeling very sad because of Cedric dying. Then I expect she's feeling confused because she likes Cedric and now she likes Harry, but she can't work out who she likes best. She'll be feeling guilty, thinking it's an insult to Cedric's memory to be kissing Harry at all, and then she'll be worrying about what everyone else might say about her if she starts going out with Harry. And she probably can't work out what her feelings toward Harry are. Anyway, because he was the one who was with Cedric when Cedric died. So it's all very mixed up and painful. Oh, and she's afraid she's going to be thrown off the Ravenclaw Quidditch team because she's been flying so badly. A slight stunned silence greeted the end of his speech. Then Ron said, one person can't feel all that at once.
I love it.
They'd explode. Just because you have the emotional range of a teaspoon doesn't mean we all have, said Hermione, most nastily picking up her quill again.
Oh my gosh.
Such
it was
a good
so
line.
Great.
Hermione is great. So great in these chapters.
And I was thinking, yep.
I know. I was like, Ron doesn't want to know what goes on in here.
Yeah,
in my mind.
That was my question. Like, did you guys, when you were seeing Cho, did you understand all the things that you were going through? Because I'm putting myself in Harry's perspective, and like, yeah, you're wanting a kiss from a girl that you like. And if you're a Harry, you're not really understanding all the reasons why she's crying. But when you're in like Cho's perspective, you're like, this girl is going through the ringer right now. I felt so bad for her when Hermione said all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, she is going through one right now.
I don't think I got all of that, but after
Yeah.
Hermione said that, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
Because we were only seeing Harry's perspective, and Harry just wasn't picking up on that at all. She always looked so like put together when we saw her, but she really wasn't that whole time.
Yep.
But maybe she wasn't, because Harry was just focused on like
Yeah.
his nerves.
Yep.
And being
Yep.
like,
He couldn't
oh,
pick up
she's
on
paying
it.
attention
Too
to me.
focused on himself. Yeah. That's a good point. All right, this is a hard turn, because this is when the chapter gets a little crazy. It goes, he had to tell Ron. So he has this dream. He goes, he had to tell Ron. It was very important that he tell him. Taking great gulps of air, Harry pushed himself up in the bed, willing himself to not throw up again, the pain half blinding him. Your dad, he panted, his chest heaving. Your dad's been attacked. What? Said Ron uncomprehendingly. Your dad, he's been bitten. It's serious. There was blood everywhere. Is this dream real?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
It tracks to his other dreams
Yeah.
with Nagini and the Riddle House, right?
Yeah.
But this is weird though, because it's Nagini, maybe, or can
But then
Voldemort
it's
become a
weird
snake?
because Harry became the snake.
Yeah, why would he have a connection enough
Yeah.
for that? That felt
That's
weird.
why. And then I was like, did Voldemort transform? Because he could go into snakes, right? Wasn't that how he survived?
Oh, like going.
Voldemort.
Yeah, but that was before he had his own body.
I know,
back.
but maybe now he's
Yeah, I
more
mean,
powerful.
totally. And we don't know the story of Nagini either. Is that something he always could have,
Or is he
an
Animagus too? Jinx?
Yeah.
I don't know why that just comes out.
Oh man, I don't know.
You're not supposed to talk anymore. That was perfect.
Well, no, I'll talk, but I just
You're
owe
banned
you
from talking
Coke.
for the rest.
no, you
or
can't
gum.
talk because I jinxed you.
Oh, that's just it. There's no consequences built in. I'll pay the toll.
Just because last recording.
Couldn't do it. Oh, I didn't get to that part in the recording yet. I don't know how we did it.
Yeah, it was weird. But I think the fact that his head was pounding so badly that he had a migraine, basically, makes it feel like it was actually real. And then you asked us a question one time if the Weasleys were going to lose someone.
Yeah.
Don't.
I don't know if I want to ask this question, but is Arthur Weasley dead?
No,
I don't know.
he was not the first one to get up from the table.
Oh my gosh, you're
going
still
back to.
tracking that.
No,
You know
we
that
actually don't know.
J.K.
but-
Rowling probably didn't even track that. She just like wrote it. And now
she
you're
tracked
tracking
it.
something that's not even there.
No, I mean, maybe that did happen, but she left it vague enough that it could have been anything. But no, I think I'm just trusting Harry. And Harry is saying he's in trouble. He's not saying he's dead. When I read it, I thought this person was dead. The man in his dream. But we didn't even find out it was Mr. Weasley until he woke up and says it to Ron. But I think
And
I'm just
where was
trusting
he?
Harry.
But how does that track, though? Because you said in the dream you thought this person was dead.
Yeah.
And then he woke up, and then why do you think he's not dead now?
Because Harry didn't think he was dead. So that I'm thinking
Okay.
No,
Harry
I
thought
think-
it was present time and the person was Mr. Weasley and the person can be saved if they act quickly. And I'm just trusting all three of
being
those.
optimistic.
Okay,
and in
nice.
Denial.
And do you think it was present time or do you think he was wrong about all
I think
of
it's
those
present
things?
time because why else would his head hurt like
Okay.
immediately?
And do you think it was Mr. Weasley?
If he said it's Mr. Weasley, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you're grilling me again.
I just want to understand.
We could just sit back and enjoy the show.
I know. It's my favorite times.
So we agree on
like a
2 points, but the third one we disagree on.
What's the third one? That he's alive or dead?
Yeah.
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 Jen, do you think that he could be dead?
Yeah. So that's why I think them putting in the Christmas and the
In the burrow?
Yeah. Was an interesting comment because I feel like that's not going to happen or it's going to look very different.
That's great.
I mean,
that's
it's gonna look different.
Yeah, that's usually like when everything is seeming to go so great and perfect. That's usually when things sometimes go awry. That's like in any movie. As soon as the characters are like, we can relax, something goes terrible. And this is kind of that moment.
Yeah.
Like Christmas at the Burrow, DA meeting goes great. Harry has a wet kiss. And then all of a sudden,
Someone's
Yep.
dead.
yeah.
But we did all agree that would that be the best one? No. Out of Mrs. Weasley and Mr. Weasley?
Oh, of the two.
Not that I wanted to happen.
Of course, but if it,
Yeah, sometimes Mrs. Weasley annoys me a little bit.
agreed.
But I love her so much. She's one of my favorite characters.
Yep.
I love her so much.
But then I was wondering, where was he?
Yes. Nice.
Was he in the Ministry of Magic? Was he hanging out in the Order campgrounds? Was he home? He
Was this
just
in that
sitting.
corridor that Harry keeps dreaming of? Is it somewhere
Because
else?
it did say that, right?
Right, it implied it at
what was
least.
Do you have it underlined? I'm sure. So can you
Let
read
me
it?
find my underlines. Sitting in front of a door at the end of the corridor.
The corridor. That's the same corridor, maybe. No?
It could be.
And that's
Yeah.
what they'd probably do rounds with protecting
Maybe that's where the weapon is.
the
And
weapon.
Mr.
That's
Weasley
what
was
I'm
there
thinking.
trying to defend for
Yeah.
the weapon.
And then maybe he got the weapon, which is why his head started hurting the most. After? Maybe.
Could be. But is the door locked? Even if he gets past Mr. Weasley. I'm also kind of hoping
But
it's
he
not
also
Mr.
was-
Weasley. Could it be someone who just looks like him? Another member of the Weasley family? A twin brother?
Percy, please let it be
Polyjuice.
Percy. Please let it be Percy.
Whoa.
Polyjuice potion?
Well, true. Hey, wow, now
That's
you're
your
getting onto
favorite.
that train. Yeah. That thought didn't cross my mind. Why would someone polyjuice to be Mr. Weasley? That's intriguing.
To get into something.
To
with
get into the
into the
ministry.
ministry.
Not all of them are
Magic.
ministry workers. So.
Yep. So somebody else needs to get into the ministry. Could this be a flashback to Sturgis Podmore when he was
Who is
in the
that?
ministry, when he got caught the night before school started?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, he's the dude who was supposed to help escort them to King's Cross when school was first starting.
Oh.
And then Moody's like, well, he's not here. We're going without him. And I forget how that all got resolved. Like the ministry got him though, not Voldemort. I don't know.
Yeah, because wasn't he going to Azkaban? Wasn't he?
Was that the thing? He was getting sent to Azkaban. Okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, you
thought-
could be right.
It could go either way.
Ugh.
Could be wrong, could be right.
I don't want it to be Mr. Weasley.
Neither does anyone else, but it is.
It is.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So, Matthew brings up a good
annoying.
point. I want to say the idea that this is kind of the driving plot of this book, right? So, like the direction that the last book was in, Goblet of Fire, is like, who do you trust? Who is the rat in this whole situation? Who is this one person? And in this one, he says, I think this book's riddle is whether or not Harry's snake visions are real or not. So I think that's kind of what you're trying to figure out right now, which seems to
Yep.
be the driving plot of this book. It's like popping up in his dreams, and you're like, are these actually happening or not? And this is kind of the moment where things might come to a head, where you might figure out if they are or not. Because this is the line that we get. No, Harry said angrily. Would none of them understand? I was having the dream at first about something completely different, something stupid. And then this interrupted it. It was real. I didn't imagine it. Mr. Weasley was asleep on the floor, and he was attacked by a gigantic snake. There was a load of blood. He collapsed. Someone's got to find out where he is. Professor McGonagall was gazing at him through her lopsided spectacles as though horrified at what she was seeing. I'm not lying and I'm not mad, Harry told her, his voice rising to a shout. I tell you, I saw it happen. I believe you, Potter, said Professor McGonagall curtly. Put on your dressing gown. We're going to see the headmaster. So that's how the chapter ends. I'm sorry I had it. People were
I think
saying
go
on the
to a
subreddit.
mental institute.
Yeah.
Well, that's the title of the next chapter.
Yeah. St. Mungo's. Yeah.
It's not a secret.
What? I never said it was. I'm just saying, whoa, I just didn't know it.
So maybe he's alive and they're trying to do some like surgery on him immediately to try to patch him up. You never know. Trying to figure that out. Maybe he's in the morgue in that institution, you know.
Oh, I was thinking Harry's going for his dreams, not
Yeah, or
Weasley.
Harry's going for his dreams.
I'm wondering if there's more meaning to the first half of his dream too, because we haven't seen like normal dreams out of Harry this book, or maybe ever. No, I think we've seen some dreams, but since the Frank incident at the beginning of the last book, I feel like his dreams have always meant something. So in the last book, his dreams were very real, and we assume were happening in real time. But things are different now. Now Voldemort is more powerful. Their connection is more, and the dreams might mean more. It seems like they do. Would he have a normal dream about Cho and chocolate frogs? Felt a little bit out of place. Or are both parts of the dream meaningful?
What were the first part?
Wasn't he questioning things about Cho though? Before he fell asleep, wasn't there like
Like it was on his mind when he was going to bed? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would make sense.
Wasn't he? I forget what he was exactly questioning, but that made sense to me. That first part of the dream for him to do that.
Oh, yeah. It made complete sense for like a normal person, but I think I'm just used to Harry's dreams meaning more. So I was trying to find meaning. The only thing that I was like trying to connect would be that the reason this person died was because of what Harry was seeing with the Cho thing. And I was thinking Harry was seeing Cho and the Dumbledore's Army room, but that was actually a different scenario that was playing out in the corridor. Something about, you know, I used to have all these, you know, cards or chocolate frogs. Was that representing money? And I started like trying to read into the dream meaning more. We don't have enough information to find anything into it, but
Yeah, this part here, well, I just took it
yeah.
as like a normal dream. It said, yes, he had liked Cho for ages, but whenever he had imagined a scene involving the two of them, it had always featured a Cho who was enjoying herself, as opposed to a Cho who was sobbing uncontrollably into his shoulder. So I think that like...
That was on his mind.
Yeah.
That was drifting off
I feel
to
like
sleep.
it just kind of messed with him.
Yep.
We'll figure it out as we go on. But who is your favorite character in these chapters? Who wins the House Cup? What's your favorite moment in these chapters? And who wins the Hot Tamale Award?
Forgot to pick any of these.
Stuck. I realize everything we give a nickname is kitchen or food.
Yeah,
Everything.
that's kind of true. Crockpot, hot tamale.
That's funny.
I like Hermione how she breaks down the situation for Harry with Cho. And then she tries to distract Ron in the beginning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like she's just trying to be, like she's showing like good friend qualities.
She is fantastic in these chapters.
And with Hagrid too. Even though she plays mom.
Yeah.
The hot tamale is Ginny, obviously. Or Cho.
Hot mess
Nah.
tamale.
I know. Sloppy tamale. That's
Sloppy
We'll give a
wet
sloppy tamale award too.
oh boy. She gets the sloppy one.
Definitely.
And Ginny gets the hot. What was the third one?
Favorite moment?
Moment. Gonna interrupt me?
No, I'm letting you get all yours out. See, I'm learning.
Oh, you're maturing.
Yep. Slow and steady, you know.
Moment. I don't know, something with Hagrid coming back and then like being so excited to teach this cool new creature. He was so excited about his lesson. And I hate the part that it gets like trumped on by Umbridge, but
Yeah. It was a good lesson.
I thought it was really cool, like, yeah. And then him coming back, explaining his little tour with Eminem. That's it. See, Eminem. It's also candy.
Oh, that was the other.
I was like, there's another one. There's a few other things too. I like the line Lee with the Quidditch, though. That's the one thing I liked in the Quidditch chapter.
You said you liked the Quidditch chapter?
I said the only thing I liked was that Lee made that commentary.
My ears are playing tricks on me. My ears are hearing what I want to hear.
Exactly.
I'm going to give the Hot Tamale Award to Hermione for her kiss and for her letter writing for Victor. Vicky.
Because that's hot for you.
Playing the field, apparently.
Kisses and letter writing? I mean, come
Yes,
on.
are you
How would
kidding
that
me?
not be?
Like a handwritten letter.
Well, I
and
guess
kiss on the
I
cheek.
like Ginny.
That's a Hot Tamale Award right there. Dang. She gets that award from me, Hermione. My favorite character is there's some people throwing out McGonagall in the chat just because she immediately believes Harry, which is really fantastic because Harry never gets believed.
Yeah.
And in the moment, in like a moment in this book where no one believes him and he feels like he's up against people all the time, there's you get one moment where he explains something really quick and McGonagall goes, "I believe you. Let's go."
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Very satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and how she handles Umbridge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hot tamale there.
McGonagall gets the hot tamale award.
McGonagall is a Hot Tamale
yeah.
Award. She could be a recipient pretty soon.
Woof.
In a good way or a bad way?
Always a good way.
Whoa.
No, it's like
like-
a slightly ironic
I feel
way.
like
It's,
woof is
Home
never a
Alone.
good
no, it's
term.
always the Home Alone reference.
Yeah.
Buzz's
Yeah.
girlfriend, Woof.
Yep.
But with McGonagall, I'm joking a little because she could be a hot tamale. I think House Cup goes to Hagrid for me because I think my favorite moment was when Eminem saved them from the Giants, because that whole story with the Giants I just really enjoyed. Like, it was so fun listening to Hagrid tell the story and hearing about what was going on. That was like fascinating. And in that moment I was actually concerned, thinking he's going to get beat up, and then have Madame Maxime turn it all around with some spells. I was like, oh, this is sick. And I was like,
that was cool.
Picturing that whole thing. So that was probably the moment. And I'd also give Hermione the Hot Tamale Award. She crushed it. She would be like almost like, I'm thinking kind of like House Cup winner runner up almost, but with more spice. So Hot Tamale. But McGonagall also
one.
at the end, you're right. She's really like, yeah. A lot of good moments.
Yeah, there are a lot of good moments in these chapters. I think one of my favorites is probably the Thestrals moment. Maybe that might be my favorite actual moment in these chapters, when Hagrid's explaining it and you just understand kind of that people who have seen death have seen these. I think it's a really, really fascinating one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad I went first because I said that before both of you.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
you go.
nice.
And then
You
I wouldn't
win.
want
You
to say it.
Wait, did you say, John and Kristen, you're House Cup people? Kristen, you didn't give any of your...
Kristen
Really,
didn't go
I'm
yet.
trying to figure things out. My brain is shutting down.
I think my House Cup would probably be... this is a tough one in these chapters, to be honest. I want to give it to Neville again,
I knew you were gonna say that.
but I'm not. I'm not gonna do it these ones because he's
Yeah,
good,
right.
but he's like a minor, very minor character in these. We just get a little bit more of his backstory. So I think I'm gonna give it to Harry for a few reasons. He's like the obvious. I mean, we always give it to Harry, but I like that he fought Draco. I really like that he fought him. That was kind of satisfying to me. I like that people are starting to believe him. He's a great teacher. He got his first wet kiss. Is that his first kiss? That was his first kiss too,
Did he
right?
say it was his first kiss?
It's gotta be, right?
Wet.
Huh.
Who would have? I don't
No,
think
I think you're right.
before.
I just,
Happens
yeah.
sometimes.
I know. That's why it's grossing me out.
I think you're right, though. I thought of it as being that.
He's just it's not the best stretch of chapters for him. He has some flaws in this, but I feel like
He's
he
human.
is growing in some pretty serious ways. He understands what Thestrals are in this moment. What?
He's human.
Yeah,
Ish.
exactly. Ish.
I'm still trying to... I don't know. It's my favorite.
Yep, your turn.
The burrow.
Maybe John can do that thing where he gives your stuff.
That would be great.
Well, we
your
just said
mind.
what your favorite moment was, right? When you like smiled with warmth. What was that moment?
Christmas.
Oh, yeah, the
Christmas, yeah. That's your favorite moment.
That's such a lame moment. Okay, I'll take it. My moments are
It is
always
a good
lame.
moment, though, honestly.
I'll give it to McGonagall. The house cup.
Nice.
The hot tamale. I'm going to side with
Luna.
Jenn here. Luna's going to get the hot tamale? Or with her lion? We didn't talk about that, did we?
Oh, her lion was
lion
awesome.
hat?
Yeah, that was great, actually.
She should have made a bunch of those. They could have taken Slytherin out with those hats.
You just need a few more.
Whole pride.
No one would have heard King Weasley.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is,
great
again,
idea.
coming up with good strategies. That's the kind of stuff they need to do instead of using their fists and doing it poorly.
Yeah.
Also, was Luna putting a move on Harry?
Yeah.
Is that a mistletoe over your head, Harry?
I know. And she's like, oh yeah,
That's full of
there's
Nargles.
She played
whatever
it,
that is.
cool, but it was just like one of those moments. I was like, what?
I thought she was gonna go in for a kiss.
At the moment, I
I think if
did.
she
I was
wanted
like,
to, she
whoa.
would have.
You're probably right.
Yeah, that's
I don't think she would have held back.
She also
She
didn't
was
want
like,
to
oh, this is the perfect opportunity. Let's do it.
but she did. Yeah, well, maybe, yeah.
What?
Well, she didn't want to kiss rape Harry, so she wanted some feedback first. So she was just kind of like throwing it out there, like mistletoe.
Mistletoe?
Like that was like yes, no question mark.
And then Harry looks a little stunned, and she just
And then
goes,
she's like,
oh,
oh, no,
Nargles.
all right.
Her
But if
opportunity
he was
passed.
like, oh yeah,
She's waiting for Neville anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah.
they would be
Ooh,
a better
little-
match, I think. Neville.
That'd be a
Neville
weird
Luna
one.
is a good
Why
one.
would that be weird?
I don't know, but it'd be good. I like it. Just
Oh.
well, because she's weird. and
Weird's
he's
usually
weird.
not a good.
Aw.
No, weird is good to me a lot of the time.
That's not
Well, maybe
usually
I think of
for
myself as weird.
normal society.
In
I
a
don't
good
think.
weird way. I don't know. Yeah.
Someone says
Wow.
on chat, if Luna wanted to kiss you, she'd tell you. She wouldn't have do pretenses. Harry, you want to kiss?
I want to kiss
That's
you.
what I mean. Like, she would either.
She's up front.
Yeah.
It's kind of true.
Yeah.
Or she would just go in for it, which is what you were
Yeah.
saying. Or she would ask. She's a little polite. Yes. They were busy chatting. They didn't hear you.
No, I did.
That's the chatter and
usual.
John. They were busy talking and they didn't hear Kristen saying, okay, forget it. You know what?
Sorry.
It's okay. I already said that.
Wait, who got your hot tamale, Kristen?
I think I'm going to give it to Ginny.
Nice.
Jen on that.
The Ginnies versus the Hermiones.
Future. She's a seeker now?
Yeah, she's the seeker.
The seeker of the team. Yeah, that's hot
She's
tamale worthy.
spicy.
Yeah. Like the spice.
Thanks for how do I
They
always
really
end the
love
podcast?
me now.
I just blanked right there. Well, anyway, thanks for listening to this.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Ready?
Kind of
Thank
close.
hold on, here it is. Well, thanks for joining us on our journey of Harry Potter and the first time
Nice.
readers.
You got
Good job.
Until next time.
Did they help you with that?
Yeah, you guys can help me.
Wow,
They wrote it
that's also brilliant.
You bringing socks?
Yeah, probably. Well, if it's going to become a thing, I'll keep it going. I got so many socks.
Well, we should every time Danny brings a new pair of socks, we'll sell them on eBay.
Oh my
Unwashed.
OnlyFans.
Oh gosh, I was just thinking that. I
Oh
wasn't gonna
my.
say it.
Oh
That's
goodness,
so gross.
we're gonna start selling Danny's socks.
I have really good
Join our
feet for it,
Patreon
just
or
so you know.
OnlyFans for
See the
my
arch?
feet. Yeah, well, we're going to
I
have
know.
our feet OnlyFans.
Jen's feet, Harry Potter, and
Wow.
the OnlyFans.
My
raiders.
coworkers say I should do that.
No.
I can make a career out of these things.
Jen, we're still live.
That's what my coworkers say.
Ah, all
They
right.
wanted to make a page for me and they were going to be my publicist. And then none of us would have to work.
Wow, they want to be your feet pimps. Oh, my goodness.
My
It's
jaw
just
hurts.
feet.
Oh my gosh.
For me.
Conversation with other friends. No.
It would
Wow.
just be feet for me.